Oh my goodness, this is not a drill. This is not a drill. We have some big news to share with you, Expresso.
Well done.
Wow, we have won our NAFTA because of you for Best Current News Program.
Can you see? Okay, you can't really see, it's reflecting. Absolutely love it. Best Current News Program 2025.
Come on.
I love the way they framed this because everyone from just about every lane was there and represented. And of course, we now know with the NAFTAs, it's all about the public vote. So this award is your award. Thank you so much. And I love the way we framed it on the night is that there might be bigger news that speaks to big things. We'll still bring you that, connect you to the G20. But for us, your news, what's happening in your world is what matters most to us. And that's what we try and react to. And it was just so awesome to see people within the industry, the Clink Brinks of the world, receiving their flowers, seeing the Alfreds of the world, the Sailors of the world.
Him and Leon Schuster won as well.
Beautiful. But I was sat right behind Dr. John Carney for those 4 hours. I was just like freaking out, staring at the side of his head. Shamini knows me by now, obviously being the age that I am, and him respectfully, but he got it. I think everyone was there for each other in a beautiful way, but we were there for you. Undoubtedly, you are the most important part of this equation. So thank you so much for giving us the energy, the fortitude.
That's right.
Teaching us what it's all about, really.
Come on, Feel Good Fam. We are officially two-time award winners when it comes to our National Film and Television Awards. Congratulations to you, G, on your nominee, regardless.
Thank you so much. No, it was wonderful. It was so nice to be a part of this, and my wife looked absolutely beautiful.
Of course she did.
Unfortunately, now everyone knows I'm punching out of my weight class, so we'll keep perpetrating the lie. But it was an amazing weekend, and of course, so much to catch up on.
That's right.
I know on the news front, you've got a lot to do and a lot to get through after a busy weekend. I am relishing delving into the sports. Of course, I was one of those people who was looking up updates. Okay, I wasn't watching it live while the show was going on, but I had to because my blood is green and gold. And these are our boys, and they were playing Ireland. So their award is our award. Our reward is their reward. And it kind of felt like that weekend that South Africa was South African hard this weekend, and we want to be a part of that story today. So thank you for being a part of it. Thank you for joining us. We'll give you all of the energy and we'll give you all of the info. Let's start with some news coming out of this weekend. Then yes, I will delve into the sport.
Oh, we definitely look forward to all of those celebrations. For now, though, with 3 minutes after 6 o'clock, it's time to get into your national news headlines. And we get started here with President Cyril Ramaphosa, who brought the first ever G20 summit on African soil to a close yesterday evening, delivering a unifying message of partnership, justice, and shared prosperity. Now, speaking at the Johannesburg Expo Centre, he urged world leaders to confront global challenges together, ensuring no one is left behind, before striking the ceremonial gavel to officially end the summit and also hand over the presidency to the United States. Now, the room erupted in applause, with journalists and officials breaking into song to celebrate South Africa's successful, secure, and globally praised hosting of this historic event. In other news in the country, Deputy President Paul Mashatile met Chinese Premier Li Jiang in Johannesburg yesterday, using the opportunity to boost South Africa's trade, investment, and industrial goals while deepening political and diplomatic ties. Now, the discussion focused on expanding value-added exports, attracting investment in manufacturing, renewable energy, and digital sectors, as well as creating more opportunities for young people. Now, Mashatile thanked China for its generous support, including 42.14 million rand for G20 initiatives, highlighting the growing partnership and shared commitment to inclusive growth and stronger multilateral cooperation. In your international news making headlines, 50 of the 315 children abducted from St. Mary's Catholic School in Niger State on Friday have escaped and been reunited with their families, offering relief amid a growing national crisis. Now, a military-led search continues for the remaining 265 children and 12 teachers. Schools in several states, including Niger, Kebbi, Katsina, Yobe, and Kwara, remain closed as authorities ensure safety. Now, in another development, 38 people abducted from a church service in Kwara State last week were freed yesterday. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu cancelled international engagements to focus on the crisis. Meanwhile, Israel says Hezbollah's military chief, Ali Tabtabai, has been killed in an airstrike on Beirut's southern suburbs, despite a year-old U.S.-brokered truce. Now, Hezbollah confirmed his death and said its leadership would decide on a response, while noting it has not fired on Israel since the ceasefire began. Lebanese authorities say 5 people were killed and 28 injured when the strike hit a multi-story building. Now, the attack comes just days before Pope Leo's visit, heightening concern as Israel continues near-daily operations against what it's called Hezbollah's rebuilding efforts. And closing up with this story, a congratulations goes out to Miss Mexico Fatima Bosch, that's been crowned the new Miss Universe in Thailand. Closing a season packed with twists and a bit of tension with a heartwarming victory. Now, the 25-year-old, who famously walked out of the event after being publicly scolded by an official, returned stronger than ever to claim the crown as Mexico's 4th winner. Now, her win follows the resignation of 2 judges amid accusations of rigging, adding extra sparkle to her moment of triumph. Thailand's Pravinya Singh finished second, with Venezuela, the Philippines and Cote d'Ivoire rounding out the top 5. As the long-running pageant embraces a fresher, more modern identity, we definitely will keep our eyes peeled for what's to come. That is where we close your 6 o'clock news. It's time now to get into some more good news with your sporting highlights.
Right, we've got to start there. I was clapping for myself and the Springboks. It was a fantastic weekend from a sporting front, but I think frustrations across the board as well. South Africa battling to a 24-13 win over Ireland in a bruising and yet again card-laden test in Dublin. We didn't get all of the cards this time, though. The Boks dominating up front, undoubtedly the best in the world right now, scoring through Damian Willemse, Kobus Reinach, and of course Sasha Feinberg and Gomazulu. And then a penalty try that kind of tells the tale when you talk about those frustrations, with Ireland replying via Dan Sheehan, but South Africa's scrum and their physical edge proving decisive in a very heated contest, as we'd expect. Now we turn to motorsports, and maybe not so heated across the board. Max Verstappen on fire. He powered to victory at the Las Vegas Grand Prix, leading from start to finish under the city lights. So Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri initially crossed the line in 2nd and 4th respectively, but then both were later disqualified due to technical infringements. So George Russell was promoted to 2nd, completing a dramatic night of twists and turns on the strip. We love this for the Formula One season. Likewise, for one individual who shone amongst a lot of shining performances, especially with a bat in hand, in the cricket, Sunuran Mutasamy scored his maiden test century, and then Marco Jansen added a career-best 93 as South Africa posted 489 all out in that 2nd test up against India in Guwahati. So India closing the day, the 2nd day at least, on 9 without loss, now facing a daunting task to avoid defeat after the Proteas' dominant 30-run win in Kolkata last week. Now let's get back into the footballing action locally. This one, mixed feelings. AmaZulu finally ended Siwelela FC's unbeaten run with a 2-0 win thanks to Atini Makokolo's brace. Well, Sekhukhune United, they were held 1-1 by Marumo Gallants, and Guanamelo Ramala's opener then cancelled out by Ndaba Yetetwa and Lodlo. Brilliant strike there. TS Galaxy then bouncing back with a 2-1 victory over Golden Arrows, with goals from Puso Ditajane and Mary Keita sealing the win there. It is going to be heated across the board in the PSL this year, and I love that for the new arrivals as well. So wherever your allegiances lie, just let your blood be green and gold, because we're going to delve into the rugby in just a moment. But right now, let's get into that weather across the land.
Well, thank you so much, Gray. Let's see what your weather's looking like at the start of this week with the South African Weather Service, who has issued strong alerts for today, warning of hazardous conditions across multiple regions. Now, an orange level 5 alert for severe thunderstorms with heavy downpours, hail, excessive lightning and damaging winds is in effect for northern Gauteng, central Limpopo and the Highveld of Mpumalanga, likely causing flooding, infrastructure damage as well as service disruptions. On the other hand, a yellow level 4 alert covers much of Limpopo, southern Gauteng and Mpumalanga escarpment, and northwestern KwaZulu-Natal rather. Meanwhile, very hot and uncomfortable conditions are expected along the west coast, Cape Winelands and the Kamiesberg local municipality. And all of that brings us into the sunrise view of this hour. It's beautiful to see the sun is rising a little earlier. And out in Kareja, Aviana sent this absolutely beautiful morning view through. Honestly, it looks like a picture from The Lion King, with it just reflecting over that small little bit of body of water in the front and over the beautiful, beautiful lands ahead of us. Thank you, Aviana, for sharing your wonderful morning view with us. Kareja has never looked this good. 25 degrees is what you will be rewarded with and what you can expect in your side of town. But remember, Expresso fam, on this number 063 036 9649 is how you get in touch with your images as we get into your temperatures for this Monday.
So a massive time in South Africa at the moment. While the world was focused on G20, I'm so glad that South Africa took the time to say, well, this is what South Africa is like right now. And a young South African girl is the most at-risk girl on the planet right now. And this is weighed up against nations that are in bloody conflict at the moment. It's still more dangerous to be born as a young South African girl right now. Okay, and then we work backwards from that baseline. Terrifying to talk those facts in a room full of people that you know are victims, because that's how high the numbers have got. But there was only one small comfort in knowing that people on this side of the media wall now are processing their trauma and helping other young girls kind of cross that gap. But it's terrifying. The scale is terrifying. So we needed the whole nation behind it.
Absolutely. And I'm so glad that finally our President Cyril Ramaphosa has acknowledged this as a national disaster, because it really is. With the world watching, we definitely need to rise this conversation, make sure it stays on the forefront. So we've asked you if you were part of the GBV national shutdown. Were you part of any sort of march, perhaps, that happened in the mother city and beyond? Or did you do the 15 minutes of the lying down? And you know what, Gray, as I was going into work on Friday, I was like, why is there so much traffic? It was crazy. Along the highway, women had actually parked their cars along the side and were lying just next to the road as part of their protests. And I just thought, wow, what a statement this was.
And you know, normally we try and, on this show, because we are all about the lived experience, we are like, okay, well, let's speak to the person who's doing this every day, not for just those 15 minutes. But this is one of those opportunities where you must talk about the 15 minutes.
Absolutely.
Why? Because I was able to have this conversation with my 8-year-old son and my 5-year-old daughter. It was difficult to find the words, but if we don't find the words to talk to our 5-year-olds, our 8-year-olds, our young men, we will never move past this. So kudos for everybody to get on board, because now it wasn't a them and us kind of a situation. It kind of felt like for the first time we were on all on the same page.
Absolutely. So please share everything with us, photos, videos, if you will, on our WhatsApp line 0630369649, or head over to @Expresso Show. That's where you can find us. We'll see you straight after this.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, you beauties. I know we come with a lot of energy. Just join us here. We'll give you what you need for a brand new week. And as we step into this brand new week, this is your reminder that you and your worth has never been designed to be proven. It was meant to be lived. You've got to own it. You've got to carry it with quiet confidence. And it's going to resonate from within you. I love the fact that we're looking for strength from within today. And this motivational video is maybe just a little gentle nudge back to that truth, to move with intention, not insecurity. Be the main character.
You don't need to post it to prove it. You don't need to explain it to be valid. You don't need to be liked to be valuable. You don't need to be seen to be real. Your worth isn't up for debate, and it never was.
I know life will remind you this by sometimes taking away all those things that you stack around you to maybe prove your wealth to others, prove your worth to others, maybe prove your gravitas or your worth to yourself. When that's stripped away, what and who are you? Be that main character today. Step into that. And often it isn't a big thing. As we always say, it's not the top of the mountain. It's that first step towards the mountain. Just take the first step today. In fact, I'm going to ask my friend who seems to be almost at the top of the mountain now. Carissa, how do you step into those main character boots?
Oh, just like this. And then I'm there. Okay, main character energy all day, every day. And especially right now, Expresso fam, as we get into a bit of Monday morning movement, we definitely want to get the blood rushing through our bodies to make us feel super good. So let's kick it off with some intentional movement at that and just set the tone for the rest of the week. How we start the week is how we're going to end it. So we're joined by fitness trainer and all-round wellness enthusiast, Hloni Towers, with us. And he's going to get our bodies fired up and our energy flowing. So Hloni, welcome. And thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Happy Monday.
Oh, happy Monday. We'll see if it's still happy after this. What are we getting into today?
So today we're literally just getting that heart rate up, you know, Monday morning feeling, you know, let's start the week on the right note.
Awesome.
Some body weight movements and yeah.
Well, let's get into it. Move things out your way, Expresso fam, and let's do this together. All right, Hloni, where do we begin?
You know, let's get the body warm. We'll start on the upper body. We'll do some arm circles.
Okay.
So we'll do about 15 seconds just to get the arms and upper body going. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll go backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Do you do small
5,
circles, big circles?
6,
Does it matter?
7. Let's go small.
Small.
8,
Okay. That's
9, 10. We'll go big now. 4. Let's go.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's keep breathing, eh?
Okay. I was actually holding my breath.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ooh, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling warm,
Is it?
actually.
Let's get that heart rate pumping.
All right, let's
jog
go.
on the spot.
Jog on the spot. Let's go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And relax. Shake it out. Let's shake it out. Let's shake it. We go from body squats. So let's keep your legs shoulder width apart. Let's drive. Let me just take you through one. We squat, up, control, and down.
Oh, that's
We're
pretty
doing
low.
10 of
Okay,
those. Are you
let's
ready?
go. Let's
3,
do it.
2, 1. Let's control. 1. Breathe.
This is such a test after the weekend. Oh, dust off your knees. Let's go.
That's 4. Nice. Breathe out as you come up. 5. 6. Nice. 7. 8. Keep smiling.
I'm trying.
9. And 10. How are you feeling?
Good.
Feeling good?
Yep.
Okay, so now we're going to our main exercises. So we're doing about 4 different exercises into the main circuit. So it will test your full body strength.
All right.
Let's go into it. So we will start with a squat. So it's a squat position, leg drive. Squat, leg drive.
And must your finger touch your toes?
Fingers touch your toes. If not, just your waist height. Keep your legs on waist height.
Okay.
So we squat nice and deep. Let's go. Leg drive. 1. Down.
And Hloni, what does this
2.
help?
So we are
What are
targeting our glutes, our quads,
Okay.
and our core. That's 4.
And our coordination.
all in one. It's balance, coordination, and strength. Let's go. 6, nice. 7, it's nice. 8, 9, and 10.
My legs are on fire.
Yeah, so what we're doing, we're more focusing on our glutes,
Yeah.
our quads, our breathing control, and of course our balance.
Yeah.
So we're going on to our second one. We're going into the push-up position.
All right.
So right here, we are here. Push-up position, we saw push-up into shoulder touches. So we're right here. Push-up, drive, shoulder tap.
Oh, both sides.
If you're struggling, let's modify them. You can drop your knees,
Yeah.
cross at the back, same movement. You ready?
Yep.
We're targeting our shoulders,
All right.
we're targeting our chest, and our balance. Let's go. 3, 2, 1, let's drive.
Let's do it. Feel good, fam. I cannot be the only one
Let's tap one,
struggling. Please. I hope
Let's
you're
go.
joining me on this one. 2. How many do you
That's
need?
it. We're going 5, let's go. Come on. Nice. Let's tap, keep pushing. Control. Try not to move your hips. Keep your hips steady.
Whew.
Nice and steady. Keep your glutes steady. Hips steady, not moving. Let's go.
Trying.
Up. Drive. Let's go one more. Let's go one more. Shoulder. Nice. Let's call it. How are you feeling?
Great. That was so fantastic. The day that I can do push-ups off my knees, I know that I'm an athlete. Like, I've made it.
You gotta start somewhere.
You gotta start somewhere.
progress into
Oh,
it,
man,
you know?
Tony, that was fantastic. I know a very quick, easy one, but the blood is flowing. We're definitely feeding the energy up. How can people find you online if they want to
Find me online on IG, Instagram, The Real Shorty Fit, TikTok, The Real Shorty Fit. Anything fitness related, you'll find me on the socials.
Okay, well, there you have it. The Real Thorny Fit is what we experienced today, and I hope that you're sweating just a little bit. It's a Monday morning. We're getting into some movement, Feel Good Fam. Graham, are you a bit jealous that I look this good?
You gotta work for it.
Just unbelievably proud. Let's make it a medical Monday now. Suffering from acute or chronic constipation? Well, Aspen's got you. For long-term constipation relief, Aspen offers Movicol, Pegicol and Laxin. Then for relief from occasional constipation, turn to Lenolax, Lenin, Glycerin or Laxador suppositories. And then for gradual constipation relief, there is Brooklax and Laxador tablets. So you can choose that laxative that you need from South Africa's value-leading laxatives company with, and of course, help your family get the relief that they absolutely need. We are going to be delving into the rugby in just a moment. Yes, we can gloat. It was a tough challenge, though. We're bringing in all the boys to chew on that gristle. We'll see you now. Well done, lads.
Only you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Woo, welcome back. We are still trying to wrap our heads around this whole rugby season, let alone just this weekend. A wild night in Dublin. It saw the Boks bully Ireland up front. There's no other way of talking about it. They dominated the scrum from start to finish, and they still leave a scoreline that barely reflects the gap between the two sides. I think Ireland also deserve massive kudos for how they stood up. 5 yellows, a red, not ours, a disallowed try at almost 20 minutes, parked inside the Irish 22, and that was quite impressive to watch in itself. But it was chaos, a little bit of control, missed chances, all wrapped into one beautiful test that confounded, I think, the coaches more than anyone else. We are joined by the lads, Adrian Endley, sports presenter at Good Hope FM, Warren LeBroux, rugby enthusiast, and Ryan Grant, rugby commentator and journalist, and they are here to help us understand what is going on. I had opted to just play memes of old Australian and New Zealand rugby players talking about how good South Africa is at the moment, and that's enough for me, just to see that. Let's start down this end, Aids. When we say physical dominance, this is the Springbok. If you want to write or put in a little encyclopedic image of the Springboks, this game kind of typifies that level of physicality.
Yeah, I think people maybe thought that this was out of our game, given how good we've been on like our attack and with
Our
some flair.
expansive side, yeah.
But no, we proved we're there to mess people up. We are there to be physical. We're there to get down and dirty. And this was a clinic from the Springboks. In those scrums, just an absolute demolition.
And it must be quite difficult to ref a match like that when there's an imbalance, because you want to create something. It was loaded. We went in with the card question was loaded up there already. So glad that the referees clearly are back on the same page. For a ref trying to make his way through a game like this, it becomes so important that he keeps control, and he did seem to keep control. Did you expect it to be like this, to be this gritty, to be this hectic, and still to feel as dominant as we do? Because the scoreline wasn't as reflective, I think.
No, I completely agree with you. I think the scoreline could have got quite ugly. Normally, one assumes when you get yellow cards, points are always coming
It's
straight
there, it's like
after.
a power play, yeah?
And the amount of times we were on the 5 metre, choosing the scrum after the scrum after the scrum, scrum penalty, yellow card, scrum penalty, yellow card. It felt like there was just a bubble that was going to burst, and we'd put 40 on them at some point. So, as you said, massive kudos to Ireland. The way they hung in there was incredible, I thought. The scoreline might not reflect it, because at the end of the day, they lost at home. We broke the Dublin curse. Fantastic. But getting to Matt Carley, the ref, I thought that he could have maybe just done a bit of a better job at keeping the pace. I thought it was very slow. And for someone who maybe doesn't watch rugby like we all do, they might have found it a bit
He
boring.
must have known that every ex-referee, every technical expert was going to be picking this apart afterwards. So this became more than just a game of rugby. From the Irish perspective, what do you think they are most proud of? Because I think their coach was left, and even the first round of questions kind of hit him hard. Where he was like, what are you talking about? Did you watch the same game?
Yes, I think back to what you said, Graham. I mean, the coach said after the game, he said it was a brave, defiant effort from Ireland, and I say exactly that. I mean, the amount of steals Caelan Doris in the 7s and 8s got on our own try line, and Jamie Gibson Park clearing 25 metres. It was the most frustrating thing for me, never mind Rassie and the team. So, yeah, again, kudos to Ireland. Incredible, gutsy, hearty defence.
And there is no Irish person out there that's taking that from you. It just feels like we're just rubbing it in even more, which is what I was going for. We couldn't find our way through, but then we knew we would. Sasha, brilliant. I think Malcolm stood out in a brilliant game, so kudos to him, and I love the way the Springboks just rallied to him. But maybe good to have a test when you can't unlock that defence, when you've got to figure out a different way, a different rhythm, and not lose the core. You talk about the expansive, and Sasha is very much attached to that for me.
Yeah.
This felt like a balance of both. Get the basics right, and then you earn the right to be able to be expansive.
Yeah, I think we definitely knew that we were strong in the scrums. We were going that route a lot.
I think that's the strongest our scrum has ever been, to be honest.
100%. I think I would have liked to see it, but because there were times where we could have chosen to, pass it out wide, sort of get our wings involved, but we just sort of kept on going for the scrum, which, as we saw in the end, worked very well for us. But it was a good balance, as you mentioned. We showed, look, we're not just good at being physical. We can play expansive. We can do all these things. And Ireland were a proper test. For as much as we threw at them, they absorbed a lot of that. So at the end, to actually win in the way that we did is very impressive.
So Ireland can feel like the second best team in the world right now, proudly so. I'm sorry, I know I'm struggling this morning, but we took a lot of flack in the week up, in the build-up week, you know. Is this now the conundrum that we've got to face going into the World Cup, or should we be happy about this two full-strength side situation that we have now? Is that the team? I know a couple of injuries. How are we feeling about this building up towards the World Cup now? Because we've kind of ticked every box and we've proven, Sasha's proven, I'm not going to say we, Sasha has proven that he can play both sides of that. He can play the expansive free game, score 50 points. He can also keep it tight and do what needs to be done. What is going through Russie's mind now, other than the Guinness or whatever was left over from the weekend?
I think Russie's delighted. He's got his double thumbs up to the Irish crowd. So, no, but to answer the question, look, I think every single player that he's trialled in a position has stood up. Even a guy like Buan Fenter, who I think had a lot of question marks, scored a try, scrummed incredibly. I thought might have even been man of the match with the way he played. He wasn't at the end of the day, but incredible performance from him. A guy like Sasha we spoke about, Kobus Ranach, it's all the guys who I mean, we've seen Faf play for how many years. Everyone who's he's tried to mould into a position has really taken to it excellently.
Flourished. Damien,
And
come on.
as you say, we've got a full A team, a full B team. I'm sure we can field a C team next year. So.
Well, just on top of that, I mean, we played 52 players this year for South Africa. That's what Russia has done.
And it doesn't feel like different teams.
Not at all.
It's a system of rugby that is just insanely good. Can we get better?
That's what I said last week. Russia has got the nicest headache ever. I mean, now we're worried about Ethan Hooker on the wing, and all of a sudden Kane and Moody's playing wing.
I was going to ask, where do you put Kanan? Where do you put him? I love him in centre. I love him at fullback. I love him at wing.
That's exactly my point. So he's got such a lovely headache to have there. And the thing is, I think it's going to come down to the week trainings. Whoever performs better on the Thursday, Russ, is going to be like, you're going to make my beer taste sweeter. You're starting on Saturday.
Oh, man. I love this. Can you feel it? Can you feel the gloat? It's an energy that's just flowing across the world. No, they earned this one. There is no gloating when you fight as hard as you do for a gritty win like this. And as you pointed out, it could have been 40, it could have been 50 with the potential to attack. So kudos to Ireland for providing, I think, the biggest challenge we faced all year. And I know I'm just rubbing it in even more. I'm going to say Merry Christmas. I'm just going to say Merry Christmas. Now, Boka, we absolutely love you.
Well done again to the boys, man. It's such a great time to be South African. And now we head over to the mother city with more reason to smile, because it became the ultimate playground as Red Bull's Spot Check took over the streets with the global skate heavyweights and our home ground heroes. Now, iconic spots, massive tricks, cash up for grabs, and a vibe that electrified the mother city from curb to coastline. Our girl Kutle was there to witness it all firsthand, so let's dive right in.
After lighting up cities around the world, the Red Bull Spot Check has finally touched down in the mother city, unlocking one epic day of discovering some of our most iconic skate spots right here in Cape Town. This weekend is all about wheels, rails, and progression. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in the presence of skateboarding royalty. I'm talking about Olympic skater pushing South African skateboarding to the global stage. It is the one and only Brandon Falchalo.
Thank you for the intro. Appreciate that.
How excited are you right now that the Red Bull Spot Check is in the mother city?
To be honest, I couldn't be more excited for the international crew and some of the best skateboarders in the world to be here. So for me, obviously, having them be in Cape Town and in South Africa and inspiring our whole entire skateboarding industry here, it's a dream come true, you know?
Can you tell us more about the event, what the Red Bull Spot Check is all about, and what it means for the South African skating community?
Red Bull Spot Check is basically us going back into the roots and going back into the streets and the inner city, where it's not skate parks. It wasn't built specifically for skateboarding, but for us, it's where we create our arts. It's where we use the surrounding environment to be able to do different tricks and do cool stunts. And yeah, doing a demo and a best trick and making sure that the one South African MVP will get an international trip overseas next year to a Red Bull event. So for us, it's pretty much trying to bridge the international and the local scene and give more opportunities to skateboarders from South Africa to be exposed to the international scene.
I'm really excited to introduce one of the youngest, most exciting female skaters in the world, Chloe Covell. Tell us about the Red Bull Spot Check and what does this mean for you and your career?
Yeah, the Red Bull Spot Check is super cool. Like, we come here with all the Red Bull crew, some of the best skaters in the world, and yeah, we're just skating with all the local skaters and having so much fun.
The Red Bull Spot Check is all about mixing pro athletes with emerging talent. How would you say that contributes to the growth of the local skating scene?
It's gonna be insane. Like, I feel like on these Red Bull Spot Checks, so many of the local guys push themselves and learn new tricks and just become a better skater in general.
I'm pretty sure you get this question a lot. Being a female in a male-dominated industry, what words of encouragement do you have for emerging female talent?
My words for young female trying to skate is just to get aboard, start somewhere. If you want to pursue it as a dream, then just be patient with it and keep working hard.
Right now I'm with the youngest skater lighting up the skate scene right here in Cape Town, and you go by the name of Georgia, right?
Yeah.
What made you want to come out to the Red Bull Spot Check event?
At first, I didn't know about it, but then when my dad told me, I was like, please can we come? Because one of my best friends is here, and I wanted to see what it's about.
And how long have you been skating?
For about a year now.
Do you mind showing me a trick or two?
Sure. The trick that I'm gonna do is an ollie.
What? That is amazing! High five, Georgia. Thank you. Can I try it? Can you teach me actually?
Sure.
How do you do it?
So the concept of the ollie is you must push on your tail and lift this up, but you must also scrape with your front foot up, and then like that.
I feel like I'm gonna fall.
You can try?
Yeah, let's try.
I can hold your hands.
Yes, please. Georgia, you making this look so... No, I can't do it. Wait. Okay, I step here.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't think I'll be able to make it. She makes it look so easy, but you are such a rock star. Thank you for joining us. Straight out of the USA, touching down in the RSA is Zion Wright. What would you say is the importance of events like this, the Red Bull Spot Check?
Definitely, it's very important for us to be able to come out, to be able to interact and, connect with the people, the community, and show everyone that, it's possible and that, just because we do stuff at such a high level doesn't make us, any much different than everyone else. So it's good for us to come and interact.
We are with a true icon in the world of skateboarding, a name that has inspired generations and continues to push the culture forward. I am talking about none other than Ryan Sheckler. Being in the space for decades, how do you continue to push yourself beyond your boundaries and continue to be at the top and refine your craft?
I'm addicted to the fear of skateboarding. I'm addicted to the fear and this ability to try to push yourself through fear. And I think it's what has sustained me this whole time is I still at the end of the day feel like a little kid. My wife gets a little nervous about it, but I can't turn it off. I don't know how to turn off that fire and that kind of wonder. I'm still very curious about the rest of the world and where I can skate and what's out there for me to, potentially bleed on.
That's beautiful. Events like the Red Bull Spot Check are known for celebrating the local skate community across the globe. How do you believe that events like this continue to push the culture forward?
It pushes the culture forward because it shows that people care about it. And it's beautiful. We might skate different, but it doesn't matter, we're skating. So for Red Bull to be yeah, no, we support this. This is my 20th year on Red Bull.
Sure.
It's not a surprise, they support people going after their dreams.
So the energy here, the vibe is actually crazy. All of these pro skaters just doing stuff we could never imagine of doing. I'm very grateful to be here as well, because this is like a dream come true. Red Bull skating in Cape Town, here locally. I almost didn't want to believe it when I saw it.
Zanzi, it's clear that Red Bull Spot Check brought the world's best to our streets and reminded us that skateboarding isn't just about tricks. It's about connection, creativity, and community. 4 spots, one unforgettable day, and a city that proved once again the streets don't sleep, they shred.
Okay, not that I'll come close to that winner's check, but I'm a bit of a skater, okay? I'm just saying. And the delusions of grandeur kick in very quickly until
What's
you
your
land.
status,
Until you land. I was standard, okay, the way that I skated, but of course back then I didn't weigh close on 90 kilograms, so it's a slightly different transferal of energy. Kudos to anyone who is an adult and is skating at that level. Now, these guys are next level. Thank you for inspiring the youngsters who are on the boards who don't weigh 90 kilograms and can fly through the air. Absolutely beautiful. What a day on the streets of Cape Town, and I think a proud one and a proud win for local skater Ethan Cairns. Well done. The check doesn't hurt either.
Huge,
well done, son. You earned it.
Congratulations, Ethan. Now, if you are craving even more adrenaline, this time with the splash, don't miss Red Bull's King of the Air kiteboarding showdown is happening out in Bloberg. You can catch it between the 22nd of November to the 7th of December, wind permitting, obviously. The wind's been going crazy in the mother city, but maybe that helps.
I think they might even have to check that in a little bit there. I flew in yesterday over this Bloberg stretch, and we were upside down and doing spinning 360s. It's going to be hectic. 22nd of November, 7th of December this year. It's going to be one of the premier events, I think, on the ground and above it.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it with the Bloberg beach just as a backdrop. It's going to be absolutely gorgeous. But listen, we're going to touch down with the G20 summit and find out what it means to South Africa. And not only that, the gorgeous Chef Tumi joins us in the building. And we get to cook, listen to this, pomegranate, pistachio on a flatbread with honey with rosemary drizzled on top.
It sounds a little zhuzh.
It's a very
little bougie.
A very bougie. We'll get into it after this.
Lots of this.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Lest we forget, with so much going on in the world, so much going on in South Africa at the moment, all eyes of the world were on South Africa. The G20 summit wrapped up yesterday after 2 days of negotiations in Johannesburg, bringing together the world's major economies to agree on climate finance, global development, and reforms that shape how countries recover and certainly, hopefully, grow in the future. And while the summit can feel very far from everyday life, the outcomes influence Africa's access to investment, to technology, and support for resilience. And that's actually a real word. It's not an emotional notion. Economies need to be resilient these years and these days. So this year carried extra weight, of course, for South Africa as being the host nation and as the only African country at the G20 table at the moment. Worth noting. Joining us for a grounded, very Expresso way of wrapping up is Tyler Booth, ACG20 network coordinator, someone very much with their finger on the pulse, who works across African civil society to track G20 decisions and then advocate for the continent's priorities, make sure that we are connecting those two polarities of our true north, and we hope that that's what our leaders have represented and what it means for us on the ground. You're smiling. Okay, and that's a good sign, Tyler. That's a good sign. Is it an ironic smile? Is it a trepidatious smile? Is it a confident smile? How are you feeling the day after?
I think it's been a chaotic week.
Yeah.
As civil society, we attended many different spaces to
Yeah.
join the G20. So across the People Summit and the Social Summit, and then the Leaders Summit over the weekend. Which, yes, there were some good outcomes. Seeing definitely that climate is centralized, not only economic issues, but we're also seeing climate really strongly on the agenda.
In a real way, not just as a PR line or a way of digging it to another nation when you're not doing what they're doing, but in a real traction kind of way. What fell horribly short? Let's start with the ugly, and maybe you can work through those different phases of focus. But where did we miss the mark, do you think?
So I think one of the biggest marks that we missed was the opportunity to do more on ending fossil fuels and ending fossil fuel subsidies. So we've seen coming out of the COP30 conference in Brazil, there was also a bit of a failure to achieve that as well. But why we're seeing that and why we're seeing it as important is that's the clearest and most obvious solution to ending the climate crisis. Dealing with air pollution, exactly. Ending fossil fuels. So it failed to mention anything related to ending fossil fuels and ending financing fossil fuels, and a real commitment from developed countries. They need to move first. Rich countries need to move first.
Is this America? Is this America? Because they've gone all in for fossil fuels again, and we've seen a massive kickback, pushback, pullback in terms of people's influence and commitment in that space. Is it as simple as that?
So it's both the US, but also a lot of developed countries, including the EU bloc, while they're financing some good things, they're also persisting and continuing with some of the bad things. And that finance issue is one of the biggest challenges we're seeing, is it's not flowing. It needs to move, as in the Paris Agreement, it needs to move from the global north to the global south to developing economies, but that's not happening at the scale needed.
Certainly within government, but I'm seeing it happen on a private space as Amazon gets energy here. We are seeing these moves happen in financial spaces, so it's only a matter of time. So don't lose hope just yet. On the social front, when we talk about accessing finance, there's one thing looking at the bigger side of that and getting more of the pie, but there are people with no pie sitting on the lower end of that social scale. Was there a voice in that space?
Yes, so I think one important report to highlight from this whole G20 process is the inequality report led by Professor Joseph Stiglitz. And that, I think, to pull out one specific number, is since 2000, the richest 1% accumulated $1.3 million US, while the poorest half only $585.
Wow.
That's a significant number.
That's less than 1%, or I don't know how that works. Like,
so,
what is the...
Yeah, so less than the poorest half has only accumulated 585 on average extra dollars. So the wealth inequality overall is
maybe the biggest it's ever been.
Yes,
and history has taught us some horrible lessons in that space when that level of imbalance is there. So this says real commitment in a financial, in a legislative, in a whatever sense. We would just like a commitment. Do you feel that commitments have been made, and how did that manifest through the process?
So I think there's a bit of good things that have come out, and there have been a lot of words shared, but I think there's the clear commitment and that clear signal of climate change is really important, and climate change is still really on the agenda.
Can we call it like an MOU
yes,
on climate change? It's not quite there, but we're all on the same page. Okay.
Exactly. There's definitely an MOU. There's a significant acknowledgement that the just transition away, so that thing of talking about fossil fuels, there's a really clear directive that we should move away from fossil fuels through the just transition, through a whole of economy, whole of society approach. And there's a new framework that was released on critical minerals, or minerals critical to the energy transition. So moving from fossil fuels to energy.
And that speaks to commercials, which is great, because that says not just the end user, but we're talking about the mining the stuff that's going to go into the device. And I love that. That sounds great. Maybe we need some hope in the real world. What are those things we should look out for as consumers, maybe as small business owners? What can we lean into? And I know you're going to spend the next 3 months with teams of academics trying to figure this out, but South Africans love to jump behind something, love to feel like we're part of something bigger. What is that going to look like? Might 2 weeks we might get a discount on this, or how do you think it's going to manifest in the real world?
So I think it's quite an interesting question you've posed, and I think especially within the G20 space, they're a decision-making body, but they're not an implementing body. So we're going to see it.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we're seeing it. It's definitely coming back to the national level, and especially at the local level. So participating in different processes. We saw the EU announce a 750 million euro deal for supporting transport and energy infrastructure. So I think really engaging with that and making sure that's things that we actually need as South Africans, and that's going to support local communities.
Not just for the
and
sake of
access.
digital or the sake of tender or for the sake of enrichment.
And ensuring that it also addresses that inequality aspect, because we know there's a huge landscape inequality and spatial inequality, especially in the city of Cape Town.
But these are not the challenges, these are the opportunities. If I'm on a stage framing this, we've stopped using the word challenge and it's all opportunity. It's in the social development space. The sign I needed, the fact that I'm on TV talking to you, and an organization that represents this in the real world. We're up in Adam already, and it's just a day after the G20. No rest for the wicked. Thank you so much. We'll continue these discussions in this space, online, and in your spaces. Go and talk to the people in your offices, in your work network. What does G20 mean to you?
An excited conversation bringing us right here. It is a Monday, and of course, we've got to get fed. Now, we've got a few feel-good recipes on the menu for this morning, and we're starting off, listen to this and listen up closely. Pomegranate and pistachio flatbread with a rosemary honey drizzle. Oh my goodness, it's bright, it's cozy, and definitely a bite to ease you into the week. And joining us to definitely guide me through all of this is a familiar face around these parts. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Chef Tumi! Chef Tumi, welcome back.
It feels good to be back. It feels good to be back. I just wanted to bring back the Monday yummies because everyone feels like Monday is a blue Monday. No, I feel like let's bring some flavor into your Monday and make it even more exciting.
Make your Monday yummy again. I love to see it. Also, happy belated birthday.
How did you know?
Happy birthday to you.
Happy
And this is a birthday meal. I mean, look at the color, look at the vibrance. Where do we begin, Chef?
Okay,
what are
cool.
we doing?
So let's do this. Let's switch over because I want to give you some admin because that's what I like to do. You know me now when I'm in the kitchen.
Now that she's a year older, she's just putting me to work. All right, what are we doing?
Let's put you to work. So obviously we want to put some pistachios on this, so I'm going to need you just to chop them up. We've got some honey going, our honey drizzle. We want to make sure that we still maintain, you know, the flavor there, and we still want it to be sweet. But we also want to thin it out because we want it just to be a drizzle, and we're adding some stuff so we don't want it to burn too quickly.
Okay.
Because just like sugar, it also caramelizes, so it thickens. So I'm going to ask you just to pop some water in there, just a few sprigs of thyme.
All right.
Sorry, rosemary.
What do I do first? So
Let's put this so that while that happens, you can start chopping.
Okay, let me chop away.
So, yeah. In fact, no, wait. Add the water and the rosemary first so that it infuses while you're chopping.
Okay, gotcha.
So this is another thing you can do when you're in the kitchen. Just make sure you time manage your stuff so that you know while I'm doing this, that can be happening at the same time.
Multitasking.
Girl, it's the only way to get right in the kitchen, and someone here is married, so these tips are of utmost importance.
Chef, I gotta ask, is it all of this? Do I take it off of the bar?
Just
what
a
do
few,
I do?
yeah, just a few of those.
And
maybe,
I take it off, eh?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what you would do then, if you were making a larger batch, I would suggest that you keep it on the stalk so that it's easier to pull out and it still infuses. But we're making such a small little batch so that you know those individual hubby and I type recipes. So you just need a few.
Did you hear that? Did you hear it? Okay, I mean, it already smells so fragrant from the rosemary.
So even if hubby wasn't hungry, the moment he smells this, he's be like, I need to make sure that I make use of my
Do you know what?
efforts.
He's a simple man. Like, this is up my alley. He likes some meat and he likes some potato. Maybe some rice and gravy.
Add some steak in there. Add some chicken in there. Give it more flavor.
we're done.
Make him happy.
Okay.
And obviously, while you're doing that, I'm going to get started with the
Yes, tell us
flatbreads.
what's
I'd
going
already
on.
started toasting them, and we have a beautiful crust on the outside, but we do want a topping that's going to go well with that.
Yes,
so we're keeping it creamy with our ricotta over here. And then just for some seasoning and flavor, I've got some salt that we're going to add into this. And obviously, this is another part where you can get as, you know, as crazy as you want with the flavor. You can add flavors you like. I've added just a little bit of salt and pepper. We're going to go in with a bit of lemon juice. I'm going to finish it with the lemon juice, but I'm adding just a little bit of oil as well. So if you're into flavored oils like a chili oil, the avocado oil, things like that, you're more than welcome to add it because that also adds another depth of flavor.
So you've used ricotta.
I've used ricotta,
And you can use other cheeses, or what would you recommend?
You can use other cheeses. You've got cream cheese that you could use. cheese, and you obviously just want to, I don't want to say thin it out, but you just want to whip it a bit so that it's slightly looser.
I got
because it
you.
can be thick. But you can also use something like a tzatziki that could work on here because that brings the freshness.
Lovely.
And then finish this off with some lemon juice. May I please borrow that knife, girl?
You may. There you go, chef.
And then I'm just add a little bit of lemon juice to this just to give it a bit of freshness, and it just awakens the whole dish.
Oh,
and I think what we can do, my love, that should be lovely and infused. Let's dish it up for you just so I can show you, because another thing is it's important, like we always say, the food can't just taste good. It also has to look good.
Look good. We eat with our eyes first anyway. All right, chef, so how are we doing this?
Okay, so I'm going to start with
flatbread looks nice.
And you can keep it nice and crispy on the outside and just nice and soft on the center. So this is a nice way just to give your plate some beauty. Just make sure you have a little, you know, a little bit in the center here so that the stuff doesn't fall out. And then you can go in with some of those...
The pistachio?
Pistachios
I
over
hope
there.
it's chopped to your liking. Okay, are we just sprinkling?
Just sprinkle nicely there. Bella, you're
nicely.
taking training tips and you.
I'm taking notes. Somebody's at the back writing notes for me. You don't even know. And if you want to follow along as well, there's a QR code on your screen so that you don't have to miss any details. Scan it and then join and cook along with us. The way you move. Yes, it's the confidence for me. I love to see it.
And that is it.
And that's it.
Simple, easy, quick, tasty.
Oh my
Hubby's
gosh.
happy, wifey's happy.
You know, steak for hubby just like that for me. Maybe I'd add some rockets. I think that could be quite nice.
I like it.
Absolutely delicious. We'll chop it up. We'll have a taste and let you know how it is. Expresso fam will be back straight after this break. Chef, tell me you're sticking around for more yummy
cook.
Mondays?
Let's cook. Let's fix our lives.
Let's cook. Let's do it straight after this.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Can you believe on this Monday an hour's been wrapped? We've got 2 more to go. So let's get 7 o'clock kick-started with your national news headlines. Where South Africa's successful hosting of the G20 summit has given the nation a remarkable lift in global perception, tourism and national pride, with Brand South Africa reporting a surge in confidence as a world-class destination. Now, CEO Neville Machi highlighted preliminary economic activity of 3.6 billion rand and a jump of 1.1 million tourists, notably from the Americas, and a 58% rise from the Middle East. Now, visitors praised the country's affordability, diversity and experiences, while the summit also strengthened South Africa's brand, dispelling misinformation and positioning the nation as capable, welcoming and globally influential. In other news in the country, these comments came after President Ramaphosa brought the first ever G20 summit on South African soil to a close yesterday evening, delivering a unifying message of partnership, justice and shared prosperity. Now, speaking at the Johannesburg Expo Centre, he urged world leaders to tackle global challenges together, ensuring no one is left behind, before striking the ceremonial gavel to officially end the summit and hand over the presidency to the United States. Now, the room erupted in applause, with journalists and officials breaking into song to celebrate South Africa's success, secure and widely praised hosting of this historic event. Well, internationally speaking, European officials joined US and Ukrainian delegates yesterday in Geneva after drafting a revised peace proposal that challenges key elements of the original US plan. Now, the new version allows Ukraine a larger military and suggests any land swap discussions begin along the current front line rather than accepting areas as Russian territory. Now, this comes after Donald Trump gave President Vladimir Zelensky until Thursday to accept terms that include territorial concessions and limits on Ukraine's forces. Now, Ukrainians fear such conditions amount to surrender, while negotiators continue working towards an acceptable framework. Meanwhile, 50 of the 315 children abducted from St. Mary's Catholic School in Niger State on Friday have escaped and been reunited with their families, offering relief amid a growing national crisis. Now, a military-led search continues for the remaining 265 children and 12 teachers. Schools in several states, including Niger, Kebbi, Katsina, Yobe, and Kwara, remain closed as authorities ensure safety. Now, in another development, 38 people abducted from a church service in Kwara State last week were freed yesterday. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu cancelled international engagement to focus on the crisis. And let's close up your 7 o'clock news here with a centuries-old square in Slovakia turned into pure joy as Padre Guilherme, the priest turned DJ, threw a jubilant birthday rave for Archbishop Bernard Boba outside a 14th century cathedral. Now, with spotlights, thumping bass, and a touch of playful holiness, he mixed techno with sacred and folk influences. An uplifting blend he first perfected during lockdown live streams. Now, the crowd erupted when Pope Leo XIV appeared on an LED screen to bless the festivities, celebrating the shared magic of music, faith, and of course, human connection. Now, for Guilherme, raves reflect a world where culture and background fall away, leaving only unity, kindness, and delight, and maybe a little bit of groove. That is where we close off your news on that very, very feel-good note with the laser beams going crazy at that cathedral. I mean, we're hoping that will bring somewhat of a party to today's show anyway. That's where we leave your 7 o'clock news now. Time now for your sporting highlights.
I have to apologize. I felt like I was tripping over my words just to try and get this out there a little bit earlier, but it's big news. This was always going to be a challenge. Let's start with the rugby. South Africa battled to a 24-13 win over Ireland in a bruising, card-laden, as expected, test in Dublin. The Boks dominating up front and then scoring through Damian Willemse, Kobus Reinach, Sasha Feinberg and Goma Zulu, and then a penalty try to boot, with Ireland replying via Dan Sheehan. But with South Africa's strum and very, I think, dominance on the physical side, they proved decisive in a very heated contest. This was one of the biggest tests for both teams, I think. So kudos to the Springboks. Now you move into motorsport, and Max Verstappen is back to his best. He powered to victory at the Las Vegas Grand Prix, leading from the start under the city lights. Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri initially crossed the line in second and fourth, respectively, but then both were later disqualified due to technical infringements. Go and do a bit of digging there. That meant that George Russell was promoted to second in the end, completing a very dramatic night of twists and turns out on the strip as they stay, but Max Verstappen dominance. Now we get into cricket, and a moment for Senyoran Mutasami. He scored his maiden test century, and Marco Jansen added a career-best 93 as South Africa powered their way to 489 all out, and that was in their second test up against India in Guwahati. So India closed day 2 at 9 without loss, facing a pretty daunting task to avoid defeat after the Proteas' dominant 30-run win back in Kolkata last week. Now let's bring it back home for football. Bit of a fairy tale coming to a close, or at least a fairy tale run, as AmaZulu ended Sibalele FC's unbeaten run with a 2-0 win, thanks to Atini Makakolo's brace. Now, while Sekhukhune United, they were held 1-1 by a very strong Marumo Gallants. Ngwanamelo Ramala's opener then cancelled out by Ndaba Yetetwa and Dlodlo. And then TS Galaxy, they bounced back with a 2-1 victory over Golden Arrows, with goals from Puso Ditajane and Mary Kita sealing that win there as well. I think this has been one of the best and most competitive PSL seasons across the board, and we love it building into the festive season. So we'll go through those results one more time on the top of the hour. Right now, I think the roads should be waking up. Let's track the traffic.
That's right, Gray. The roads have woken up, and I'll touch base in two provinces. Starting out in Gauteng and Johannesburg, where there's reports of an accident on the N1 southbound after Golden Highway. Now, currently, significant delays are anticipated as a result of restricted lanes. So if you're headed out that way, do plan your route accordingly. Sitting in Gauteng, we head to North Pretoria, where there's a stationary truck on the N1 southbound past Proefplaas interchange. Now, that's resulting in a left lane closure. At the moment, no delays are currently being experienced, but please do remain cautious if you are headed that way as part of your morning commute. Out in Cape Town, in Kales River, an accident has occurred on the R300 northbound before Van Riebeek. Now, heavy congestion is expected for the affected route, so please allow for added travel time, a bit more patience, and a great playlist as you head on out. And remember to always stay safe while driving. That's where we leave your roads for now. Let's check in with your weather. Well, the South African Weather Service has issued strong alerts for today, warning of hazardous conditions across multiple regions. An orange level 5 alert for severe thunderstorms with heavy downpours, hail, excessive lightning and damaging wind is currently in effect for northern Gauteng, central Limpopo and the Highveld of Mpumalanga, likely causing flooding, infrastructure damage as well as service disruptions. And there's also a yellow level 4 alert that covers much of Limpopo, southern Gauteng, the Mpumalanga escarpment and northwestern KwaZulu-Natal. Meanwhile, very hot and uncomfortable conditions are expected along the west coast, Cape Winelands and the Kamiesberg local municipality. Now, all those weather warnings bring us into your sunrise view of this hour at 7 o'clock. Let's see what we've got. Well, Keith Dreyer from East London has shared this view with us. And thank you, Keith, for this beautiful morning view. You know, yellow is definitely the color of summer, and so is sky blue. And you're representing both of those in this gorgeous morning view. Thank you so much for repping East London in the best way. 23 degrees is what you can expect on your side of town. You would think a little bit warmer, hey, with the sun coming on over there, but enjoy the day regardless. And remember to share your morning view with us on this number, 063-036-9649. That's how you get in touch with us directly in studio with your images. But right now, let's get into your temperatures for the day.
One day I'm going to go and get a meteorologist's degree so I can fully understand the weather, because I've got to fill you in. You don't feel like a real presenter unless you've actually done the weather. So thank you, Ewan Stratham, for teaching me all about the weather and how to navigate, but I still don't understand uppies, okay? How do you have 34 degrees and cloud cover? Is that one little cloud that just drifts across the sky?
It's covering
like
the mayor.
a Coen Brothers movie, just there, and then people just kind of move. But maybe today is your time to step into the sun and maybe never leave it. Your Monday could be unforgettable. If you play your daily lotto, there's an estimated 400,000 rand sitting in the jackpot. And then I said every week with the same gusto, 150,000 rand has been thrown into the kitty courtesy of Daily Lotto Plus.
Oh, shout out to the Lotto. What are you waiting for, Mzansi? Come on board. Buy your tickets now in store. There's a website, nationallottery.co.za, mobile app, cell phone banking, or simply dial *120 *7529# for your USSD.
And we'll keep all the deets in and amongst our amazing Expresso social media content, so you can go check it out and you can play at your leisure, but don't wait too long. That 400,000 rand is calling your name, all of them. Come on.
Come on.
Come on. And of course, the Daily Lotto Plus an added 150,000. And that's 2 chances. Take them both.
It's going,
with
Graham,
gusto.
Graham, play me, Graham.
That's what the voice in my head is.
That's what
Oh,
it is. That's what
finally, I understand. Well, luckily, we're going to fill our heads and our hearts and this space with the most beautiful sounds. Marius Small-Smith is here with his debut album. We've been treated to just a tiny taste through the sound check this morning. It is exquisite. It's going to change the show completely.
Listen, he also has set the bar very high for what it's like to be a human operating on another level. We'll find out his backstory in just a little bit. And then if you are planning a trip come this festive season and Istanbul may be on it, we want to tell you about a gorgeous layover that you don't want to miss out on with Turkish Airlines. Just for us.
You gotta do things that make you scared.
Whatever your reason to go, you could get up to 100% off on flights. Book on our banking app. Your story matters.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. It is indeed your Feel Good Breakfast Show, and thank you so much for joining us and spending some time with us this morning. I want to introduce you to an exceptional human being right now. I'm talking about Marius Small-Smith, a neurosurgeon and yes, a classically trained pianist as well, stepping into the spotlight with the cinematic debut album, First Light, a powerful musical journey born from personal diversity and, of course, artistic rebirth. Now, we'll get to know the man behind the keys, but right now, let's take a sneak peek at the talent. We've all been transported. Marius, please can we give him a feel-good welcome? Come on now. So deserving. That was absolutely beautiful. Welcome, Marius, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Nice being here.
Oh my goodness, we have to get into the inspiration behind this and of course your debut album. But from what I've been told, you also have overcome a rare illness. And I think that that might have inspired artistically the direction of where you went with this. So can you tell us a little bit more about the inspiration and if your personal experience had an impact on it as well?
You never know what adversity caused.
Yeah.
I've been playing music since a young boy, but you never know that you can actually create because you keep playing the Elton Johns of the world and that sort of music, and then you go through a tough time and you lose the function of your limbs, and then you start playing again, and then you start creating a simple little song,
sure,
which ends up at the magic of Maurits Lortz, and it comes back as an incredible picture and an incredible emotional experience, basically. And then you realize, well, you can create. And that to me was the most exciting thing about this whole project,
sure,
is the fact that after all these years, you can actually create your own sound and your own music.
I love that. Was it almost like a rediscovery of your voice again, you know, your artistic voice, after discovering how capable you truly are?
You know, I think, if I may say so, you've always been a good piano player. That was never the issue. The issue was, and I always find it interesting that people create so easily.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of average music. So
I mean, you said it, Marius, not me.
No, honestly, you just, you know, when I started this journey, I asked myself two questions. Why are you doing this, and is it good enough? And I think at the end of this project, which took 4 years,
sure,
I think there are some lovely music. I think it's some nice stuff.
Well, if that snippet is anything to go by, we definitely are looking forward to all of it. But of course, your journey is so multifaceted. You're a neurosurgeon, a classically trained pianist. Do you feel like both medically and musically, those two worlds have really influenced you in some sort of way? I'm so curious how you brought in your knowledge of the brain and of course the fingers and how that comes together.
Music was a part of my life way before I did medicine and
Right.
before I did neurosurgery. So, you know, we live in a country where neurosurgeons are put on a pedestal. For me, it's not that. I mean, there's a lot of people that are doing incredible things. They're not even in the medical world. But I played a long time, and I do find my job at stages emotionally very demanding.
Sure.
And that's a very nice escape. If you want to play music or create music,
Yeah.
it's a nice place to go and find a safe haven to create and to get consolation.
Absolutely.
That's the way I saw music.
Sure. I can imagine it being like a bit of an escape and even to kind of mellow out the mental health a little bit. I mean, especially on a Monday, you want to make sure that you're feeling good. But I know that you have collaborated with some incredible people. I mean, South Africa's most celebrated, in fact. So I'm really curious about what it was like working with Maurits Lortz as well as the 20-piece string ensemble. Can you take me into that world a little bit?
Yeah, look. When you start a project like this, you have no idea where it's going to end.
It's true.
So the fact that Maurits got involved, to me, we basically have a passion for cinema music, or they call it ambiance music. That's the genre, basically. But we both like that feeling of cinema music, and then Maurits gets involved, and you start recording music, and then you say, well, you got to have an orchestra. Yeah. How big should the orchestra be? And I
The
just
bigger
thought,
the
well,
better.
I want 20. And and my friend Koenie de Villiers said, but you know, how long is a piece of string? How big do you want this orchestra? I said, well, I want 20. And then you think this thing that happens at Gerben Groten, who is a world famous conductor, through Maurits heard about the project, and he flew out from Germany to come and do the show that we did in Endler Hall at his own cost.
Sure.
So you sit with a 20-piece orchestra and you feel minute in this beautiful Endler Hall, but it was an incredible experience.
I can imagine. Sometimes you need that perspective, do you know what I'm saying? Well, we're really excited and congratulations on the debut album. Today we have an absolute treat, Expresso fam, because of course Maurice is going to take us through all the goodness when it comes to the way his fingers work on the piano. Very excited to get our brains going on this beautiful morning.
Oh, I got to say, Marius flew in under the radio. I didn't think he was going to be the reason I cried today, but I'm always a cry risk, so I'm going to own it. Well, inspired by that, let's inspire you even further. Travel should inspire you, not drain you. And I think Turkish Airlines, they understand this. With their stopover in Istanbul program, and it's an official program, your journey becomes part of the adventure, a chance to pause, to refresh, to explore, most importantly, and arrive feeling renewed and inspired.
That's crazy, because when you think about flying, those are not the words that come to mind.
I've been more in the airports and airplanes than I really have. I know we joke about it when we travel, but I honestly am forgetting what province and country I'm in at the moment. It's rough out there. I could have done with a little Istanbul stayover in Turkey.
Oh my goodness. Well, shout out to Turkish Airlines. Through the stopover in Istanbul program, if your layover is more than 20 hours, you can enjoy complimentary hotel accommodation in one of Turkish Airlines partner hotels. Now, instead of waiting at the airport on those uncomfortable chairs, you can check in, rest, reset, and even explore the city before catching your next flight. It's comfort, it's adventure, it's just all rolled into one.
Because you know those chairs are made to not sleep on. That's why they do it, because they don't want the whole world just laying over in the airport.
They're like this.
So I think it is. They're slippery, so you can't get traction either. So if you do fall asleep, you end up on the floor. That's not what we want for you. We want you to be inspired and get out there. So I want to ask you, because I think out of us, you are probably more likely to be there. I feel like you're going to be there for Christmas.
I'm manifesting it so hard. I'm about to jump on the manifestation station one more time.
What would be your go-to then if you just had the 20 hours to get out there? And I like, because we normally only have 20 hours to shoot and then maybe an hour to go and explore the Bosphorus. So what would you do?
If I could explore or stay in a hotel, I would explore. I think I would just have more to talk about on the plane. I mean, I'm resting on the plane anyway, so let me see the Bosphorus Strait. Let me see the market. Let me see all of the cuisines and deliciousness.
You can even have some of the jewelry you got from the...
And then I've got a talking point on the... I'll talk to the pilot like, hey, get us there safely, because look how good I look.
I hope I'm not sat next to you on the second leg of that flight, eh?
Does he happen?
I'm gonna put the things on. I'm gonna just put. I'm gonna get extra large earphones so you know what it's about.
Did you know?
It's gonna be earmuffs. I'm not even gonna have earphones. I'm just gonna strap it and tie my head around. No, it's fine. We can't do anything about the person you sat next to, unfortunately, on the plane. But the in-betweens, we got you covered.
Absolutely.
Economy class passengers receive 1 free night in a 4-star partner hotel, probably with the views you've just seen, while business class passengers receive 2 free nights in a 5-star or boutique hotel, because honestly, with the amount they're spending, they deserve that. They deserve it.
Absolutely. Now, Turkish Airlines was named Best Airline in Europe at the 2025 Skytrax Awards.
Well done.
Also earning Best Economy Class in Europe and World's Best Business Class onboard catering. So you already know wherever you're seated on that plane, you are so taken care of.
And the staff are lovely.
They are.
They never get over you. And that's the most important thing, because it is a long haul, but maybe they get the 20 hours stay over as well. So before you pack your bags, remember, passengers must apply for the free stopover in Istanbul hotel benefits at least 72 hours before departure. That's not a lot.
That's not
so you can still be kind of reactive. Book your Turkish Airlines flight right now. Claim your stopover voucher on their website, and then turn every leg of your amazing journey into something unforgettable. With Turkish Airlines, you don't just travel, you widen your world in style.
And I just want to travel because of that. You know what I mean?
I know, just to be that
Just
cool,
to be that
person to open that window and see it. Well, look, I can't do that for you,
Okay.
but I can whip you up a beef and mushroom pot pie that might echo a flavour of Turkey in just a small way. It looks gorgeous.
Sold.
And it's quite cute. Whenever you're using miniature ramekins like that, I am sold. So that's what we are going to attempt.
Can I have 2 of them,
Well,
please?
you're going to help me make them. So we will see. We will see if we can manage to.
I'm very excited. Also excited about Mario Small-Smith. I can't wait to get into the first of 2 performances that we'll definitely enjoy today. It is a Monday. We are stretching that mental gymnastics as well as our tummies in just a little.
Get ready to spin and win with World Sports Betting. Every Friday morning on Expresso, one lucky viewer will walk away with up to 5,000 Rand in cash. Once in, simply head to the competition post on Expresso's Facebook, Instagram or X pages and answer the weekly question and include hashtag World Sports Betting. Don't miss your chance to turn your Friday morning into a winning one. T's and C's apply and can be found at expressoshow.com. World Sports Betting, where every spin could be a win.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Let us plug you into all the good deals. You know it's November and everything good happens in November. Now with the new week comes new treats courtesy of Maxwell and Williams. Their daily Black November deals on everything from dinnerware to serveware is sure to put a spring in your step. So let's take a look to see exactly how.
Step into the world of the Mystique collection by Estelle Michaelides, a collection where art meets the table. Each piece adorned with soft flowers, rich hues, and dreamlike details. Crafted from fine porcelain, Mystique brings a touch of poetry to every pour, plate, and serve. Explore 3 enchanting offers from the tea story, the dining setting, and serveware. Today, save across this collection from 838 Rand to 3,041 Rand. Visit maxwellandwilliams.co.za and click on Black November deals for this offer. Complete your table piece by piece with Maxwell and Williams.
For all of these amazing offers, and I think you agree they are, and so much more, you can visit maxwellandwilliams.co.za. Of course, while stocks last, we always have to put that up. And please, make every meal a masterpiece. I feel like this is going to be a masterpiece, my friend.
I would agree with you.
Normally, I'm a little trepidatious. I'd ask them to let us go and cook this cold. Not so much. It's actually quite simple to do, and we're going to follow the instructions. There is something special about a dish that fills the kitchen with warmth, nostalgia, the smells, especially during the festive season. Come on. We are talking about, in this case, hearty beef and earthy mushrooms paired with golden pastry, adding a generous boost of Mrs. Ball's flavor to bring everything to life. It's my go-to, and it's a simple recipe with big festive energy. Perfect way to show you that one ingredient can just activate. Are you going to do that?
Agree.
Will you start driving there?
Activate.
You were in there. No, I like the fact that we
Activate.
don't let anything slip through the cracks. So we've started with some beautiful, you can use stewing beef, steak, whatever you have got. If it's beef and it's delicious, put it in. Low and slow if you can. The slower you cook every part of this process, the more tender the beef is going to be. So it's quite forgiving in terms of the cut of beef you use. So use that stewing beef if you've got some left. It's going to be amazing. So the beef is in. We are going to add our finely chopped onions. And we have kind of dried these a little bit. You don't want too much moisture in there. Again, if you're going to cook it slowly, let that moisture cook off. We've got some mushrooms.
I do love a mushroom.
And we've got good mushrooms in South Africa, I hear. I'm not a mushroom expert.
Oh,
but
I was going to say you're not a mushroom
down south, no, I love me some shrooms.
Okay.
I do love a big giant mushroom. Dramatic. It's so dramatic, a mushroom.
What are they called? The portobellos? The big ones? That on a
Shiitake.
brine. Oh.
I love that sort of stuff. Okay, so but it's a meaty umami flavor
That's
in
the
a vegetable
thing.
form. So that's
Absolutely.
only going to hearty up the stew. I feel like making you do this
I
because
knew you were gonna do it.
I'm sure there's a reason why my mother never let me do these things. I never know even what side to use, but that's
Because we'd
great.
have more
and then you'll
graham in
scrape it
our
off.
meal than we would garlic.
Exactly, and there's enough graham in this space already. So the garlic is great because it adds kind of a more well-rounded flavor.
true.
And I think we often think garlic just for the sake of garlic because it's there, it's on the
Mhm.
recipe, but spend some time thinking about the flavor and
Yeah.
what it could add to something, to add a bit more earthiness, to give it a bit more kind of punch, because it's not just about dominating one flavor here, it's about building it up. And when you're
Marrying
making
it
a pie,
all. Yeah.
we're thinking of merging. Absolutely, you're just going to
I'm gonna
just going
gooi
to do
it
it.
in.
And this is a garlic, portobellini, mushroom, and beef pie, okay? And then this is where the magic starts to happen.
Okay.
So I'm told by our kitchen fairies, this is kind of the starts of a roux. So if you're going to be building up a sauce, you want to coat everything
with the
flour. And then as we introduce the stock, this is just going to build up the most beautiful flavor profile and, of course, thicken.
Like the gravy.
I know. It's going to be magical. And we can turn that right down. This is looking absolutely beautiful. I'm going to go all the salt and pepper.
Agreed.
Because
Every
come on.
bite has to be seasoned as well.
Exactly. And we want that for ourselves. And then we're going to put, should we go? And this is up to you because you are building the blocks here. Should we
Me
put
being me directly.
Mrs.
Let's
Balls
see.
in first to caramelize some of the sugars in here first? Or do you want to add the stock first?
No,
What do you
I
think?
mean, you're already opening
I'm
it
sorry,
up.
I'm already making the choice for you.
Die oorspronkelijke bladjang. We're going to do it.
Okay, just reserve yourself just a little bit. I'm going to use about a third, okay, because I
I say
just
go
love
half.
But you can use this, you can use the whole bottle if you want, and you can use it on anything. I've discovered there is nothing that doesn't improve with Mrs. Balls. It
Yep.
remains one of South Africa's most iconic flavors.
Agreed.
Trusted to elevate everything from everyday meals to these festive showstoppers. And now we are going to add our beautiful stock in as we build even more flavor profile here. This range includes, we've got the original, the OG chutney. Oh, my favorite, jalapeno and sweet chili variants as well. So there is flavor for every palate and for every recipe. I love what you're doing there. Meld, mix, merge those
Trying to get the
flavors
stuff at the
together.
bottom, you
But
know,
there
the
we go,
flavor.
kind of descaling the bottom of
Yeah.
that pan. That's where the magic is. And you're going to create even more of those flavor little nodes, the caramelized sugars in the chutney. It's going to be amazing. So this chutney's signature mix of fruitiness, of tang, and then a gentle spice that lands beautifully. It makes it ideal for cooking, for glazing, enriching savory dishes, for making ribs. Honestly, you can spend 3 hours making your own marinade or just use Mrs. Balls.
Oh my gosh.
Try it. Just
Yum.
try it. It helps home cooks bring our own flavor, our South African flair to holiday cooking. If you just put it on the table, you know where we are.
Yeah.
Okay, or you know you're eating with sappers abroad.
Do you know
look
my
at
favorite
you.
way to eat? It's been a recent, like, hyper-obsessive meal of mine.
Okay.
I take Provitas. I put cheese on the Provita.
Go for
I
it.
take some Mrs. Balls.
Go for
put
it.
it on. Yum. Afternoon delight. Done.
Hey, I like
so
that.
good. Cheese and Mrs. Balls?
There is something, they call it a ploughman's in the UK, where they lean into those relishes and the pickles. Oh, I'll be recreating that with a whole loaf of bread for myself. You add like a
very
red
South
dip
African of
element
you.
where you've got some gravy to dip that in, and you start to experience the savory sweet mix of how Mrs. Balls can be used in creative ways. You just went and created a whole pie filling. Look at you.
I'm shook. Look at the
you.
consistency.
Please, can this just be a cooking show and be on the UK or something? Because I feel like we've made a Christmas meal on British television. So now what we need to do just to finish this puppy off is we put some filling in our pan.
Okay.
Do you want to use a, there we go. And don't hold back. Don't
try my
hold
best
back.
not
Remember, the sauce is going to thicken further. It's just going to be beautiful and unctuous, I think is the right term for it. It's going to be absolutely beautiful. Don't use the whole thing. Maybe use a square that matches the size of the ramekin. But if you want to wrap the whole thing in pastry, you go for it, girl. I don't want to stand in the way of progress. And then a little bit of egg wash. You can put your signature emblem on there.
Oh, you could.
And then we can start
Write
selling
an
them in
initial.
our food truck this weekend. Oh, we need a food truck
We
for Expresso,
do.
please, please.
What was it gonna
or
be
at least
called
a
again?
festival. So now it's over to you guys, please. It's your turn to join the festive fun and prove how amazing and better you are at this than us. Tell us which presenter makes your favorite Mrs. Ball's flavor, which one of these that we have spoken about today is the one that floats your boat, and you could win 1,000 Rand. Head to the competition post on Expresso's social pages. Vote for your favorite flavor and be a part of the hashtag Mrs. Ball's Festive Challenge. And I think we're going to have many of these as we progress over the next few weeks, building up to Christmas. And it is starting to feel a lot like Christmas now. Those entries close 27th of November, so you don't have a huge amount of time for this particular competition. Get those votes in and make them good. Look at you.
I'm creating something.
I'm glad you are. As you would, a little laurel wreath. And what you're going to do then is pop them into the oven 180 degrees for about 15 minutes, low and slow. You can even do it lower and slower. You want those flavors to really
Get to know each other.
Get to know each other. But I am talking around this next performance because I have a feeling it's going to take us to another place.
Agreed.
We're going to feel differently after hearing Maria Smith perform, not only because the music is just beautiful, but this signals an incredible moment in this incredible artist's life as well. This is why we love this show. Over to you, Marius.
Marius, that was unbelievable. And we told you, we warned you, it would take you on a journey. And yet here we are. So thank you so much for that beautiful transcendence into another space. And listen, Expresso fam, we still have so much more for you when it comes to exactly that. We're going to be talking about a partnership of not just music and magic, but also the force behind the build. Buco coming together with Timber City and then continuing with forces. We, of course, have to get to know the Warrior Women. The Warrior Women Awards took place with Women in Festival, and incredible women have been crowned the cream of the crop. So let's find out more about that straight after this.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, you beauties. Thank you so much for being a part of our journey and those awesome journeys we get to be a part of. And some shows bring the journey to life. You know I'm talking about My Design Rules. Through this, we have been introduced on another level to Buco and Timber City. They have been behind some of the most impressive transformations on My Design Rules Season 2. Mind-blowing, in fact. They empower the contestants with the tools, with the materials, and I think the most needed, the support to bring these bold ideas to life, and they look beautiful. Joining us this morning, looking incredible, Tumi Mpelo, brand and advertising manager at the building company, the magic behind the scenes, to take us inside this amazing partnership that is inspiring viewers across the country and proving that any great project truly does #begin with Buco. I feel like every time I say that with one of your team members, you start building something. So slow down. Okay, we've got the 4 houses being built. It's all right. They are working hard. No, you guys have been amazing. So thank you for the support through this very hectic building journey. I didn't realize how tense it could get, but Buco Timber City playing a massive role in Season 2 of My Design Rules. What is so magical about this partnership? Why are you guys all in?
So this partnership is actually one of the values that for Buco and Timber City, we are there as your project partner. So Timber City is your
Brilliant.
project partner, that's where that comes in. And for the creators on this journey, we are showcasing what that looks like. And this partnership is actually that, right? We're not just building material. We're not just the tools. We're not just that. We're not just all the stuff on the ground. We are there to assist the customer with their needs from the ground up, hence the Begin with Buco element.
It's kind of like having a tradesman in your corner, but on your side of the fence, which is a powerful thing when you're tackling a big DIY project. And you can see my PTSD because I've done something similar, tried to do too much on my own, had to lean on the experts, and you guys stepped up. I get the scope. For those that don't, maybe this is why we don't fully understand just how dominant you guys are, but for Buco and Timber City, your reach and the kinds of customers that you lean into so heavily. Give us a picture of what that looks like.
Look, Buco has over 87 stores across South Africa and Namibia, and Timber City is a legacy brand. I mean, we are turning 50 this year, to showcasing the expertise that we have and the machinery that we have. So for Timber City, we speak to the cabinetry makers. We are there assisting them with their projects and actually being there for them. And Buco is a very community-driven brand, right? We make sure that we understand the customers and their needs in each sector, in each city or town. An example is one of our partnerships with Apelele Fasi. He's been part of the brand from when he actually was a little kid.
Sold, done.
So
You don't say anything else. That's it, done.
We've been sponsoring him since a little kid, and look at the partnership now with him building back home for his parents. We're actually part of that journey with him.
You live that journey. You really do. And I'm trying to understand in my head this notion of you being on our side of this equation, because it feels like a mom and pop store where you've got trust. Like my grandfather shopped here, my father shopped here, I can shop here, my mother comes to you every day, you support. There's that feeling, yet when we need to scale up and we need to dip into very professional services, you guys step in with as you've said, a massive reach. What do those services look like? Let's get a bit more granular in terms of how you support, and you do support in the most amazing ways.
Look, we have our trust plan service available, the tradesman counter specifically for the tradesmen. We also service large and big scale development, as well as paint mixing that we have available. We also have credit finance available within our stores
For the actual projects?
For the actual projects that you need, yeah.
Wow. And I laugh because whenever we cover you guys, when there's something big happening on the storefront, generally there's like 3 or 4 constructions just happen next to it. And I used to think it was the other way around, but now I know they know where they can get that tradesman level support at those critical junctures. The grand prize this season is big. I work behind the scenes and I often stumble just over the words. What are you most excited about? What can viewers and your shoppers get most excited about as we build towards a very big grand finale?
So with this season, it's quite a bit different from last season. This season, we actually want the contestants to be part of the grand finale, to actually see and experience all the homes.
Feel the
right?
nerves.
Exactly. Be part of the entire journey, and that is the purpose and how Buco already is, right? So we're giving you a 20,000 Rand Buco voucher, you're getting all your expenses paid trip coming, and you get to meet the contestants right there.
That's amazing. We might even put you up in one of the season 1 flats just
Apartments,
for fun.
just in case.
I'm just saying. I love this journey as someone who loves DIY but does need a lot of support in every area. The way that you are practically connecting the dots through the show, it's awesome, but you've also shown the possibilities. And it starts with the timber, it starts with the build, it starts with the planning and having the right people in your corner, and you are that. Thank you so much. On behalf of everyone who's not suffering from the PTSD that I am in the DIY space, thank you to me, thank you to Buco, and thank you to Timber City. If you don't get why I'm feeling so amazing right now, watch My Design Rules Season 2 and you'll get it. But there are far more, I think, empowering South Africans every day to build with confidence, and that's what floats our boat. So keep watching the incredible My Design Rules Season 2. That's every Monday at 7 p.m. on S3 for more details, more granular, and of course more inspiration on how you can enter this competition and how you could walk away with Buco vouchers to kickstart your very own transformation and get the job done. So whether you are fixing, whether you're building, whether you are just at this stage dreaming up something new, please remember every great project starts with you, and hashtag begins with Buco.
Stand a chance to win a weekend away with your partner. Plus, you'll receive a 20,000 Rand Buco voucher. To enter, dial *120 *22442# and follow the prompts.
Well, listen, Monday's just got a whole lot brighter because it's time for a fresh drop of Plascon Handy Heroes. And today we're stepping into the paint palette out in Rustenburg, home turf for Plascon Micatex, the go-to champion for tackling those subtle, hard-to-spot hairline cracks. Now, here's their golden rule, and listen closely. Great results start long before the first coat goes in because preparation is everything. Let's take a look.
Powered by Plascon, today's handy heroes come from Paint Palette in Rustenburg, a Plascon paint expert store and member of Paint Club.
The store has opened last year in October. In the in-store staff, we have 95 years experience in the paint industry. What makes me proud is my staff, the look and feel of the store, the service that we give. We do color consultations, we do deliveries, we do free quotes.
We go the extra mile. Any specialized stuff, we go out to the site. Any problems, we try to do our best.
Here by Plascon Paint Palette, we absolutely love what we're doing. We go out of our way for a customer. If they want it, we go get it if we don't have it on the floor.
The brand obviously speaks for itself. Plascon is it's the #1 paint in the country. So as a Plascon stockist and proudly Plascon stockist and a paint expert member, we keep the whole range of Plascon.
My favorite product is your Micatex. It can cover that fine hairline cracks. It's got a lot of variety, standard colors. We can also mix over 1,000 colors for you. I will say preparation is the most key factor to anything.
When it comes to painting, just come to Plascon Paint Palette Rustenburg. Here you will get absolutely the best advice and best service.
Today's handy heroes is powered by Plascon Wall and All. Unmatched dirt, stain, water and fade resistance to keep your walls beautiful for years. Plascon, together we've got this.
And on a Monday, we always say that's exactly what we want to hear. We have got this, is Mzansi. So thank you so much for choosing us on this beautiful morning as we make the show even brighter. Can you imagine? To shine a light specifically on the Warrior Women Awards, we get on the couch with all the women, or at least some of them, that have become winners from this incredible one that was in partnership with Women in Festival. And then continuing along the aisle of celebration, it's all about Cape Town and Istanbul, the 10-year journey of that instant flight and that direct flight that's been happening. We'll show you the celebrations of that just after this.
Summer's heating up, and so are the prizes with Plascon's Win All Summer competition. Stand to win the ultimate holiday to the Maldives with 200,000 Rand, plus loads of weekly and monthly prizes. From shopping vouchers, JBL speakers, cash prizes, and unforgettable getaways to either Dubai, Zanzibar, Cape Town, or Vic Falls. To enter, simply spend 1,000 Rand or more on any Plascon product and choose one of 4 easy ways to submit your entry. Competition closes 28 February. T's and C's apply. Win all summer with Plascon.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Back. Let's get even more festive right now. I think we can. Nothing says festive comfort like a warm pot pie straight from the oven, just like these, okay? And of course, Mrs. Balls takes it to another level every single time. That signature chutney flavor turns a simple filling into something truly unforgettable.
That's true. And speaking of unforgettable, you could win your share of 40,000 Rand in the Mrs. Balls Festive Challenge. Now, it is your moment to bring the festive magic using your favorite Mrs. Balls products.
Oh,
we're not going to say which one.
It's going to be a tough choice. Can I use all of them? All of them. So all you need to do is create your very own Mrs. Balls inspired dish using your favorite Mrs. Balls variant. Then snap a picture, share it on the competition post on our social pages using hashtag Mrs. Balls Festive Challenge. It can be sweet, it can be savory, it can be something completely unexpected. It could be a slice of avocado with Mrs. Balls on.
Oh, I can. That sounds amazing. Actually,
that does actually sound pretty good, eh?
Please make
Put that on a cracker bread.
Done. But there's a fun twist to all of this. The Expresso presenter, matched to your chosen flavor, will recreate your dish live on air with your guidance, of course. Imagine shaping a dish right here from your own kitchen. I feel like you are jalapeno.
I was always jalapeno.
Always. I was always oorspronkelijke.
You are, because you are
The
oorspronkelijke. Okay. So I'm going to put a little bit. No, actually, normally I would just drown it because that's how I roll.
Do a little bit here.
I know. Just a touch. I'm going to use this. I don't want to waste for the rest of my team.
Nice.
Look at the little bits of jalapeno.
Oh, delicious.
Okay, so that's my chosen variant. And yours is the oorspronkelijke.
That's right.
I think mine will be much better, but you guys can decide. So now who's matching who? You can go and do something grown-up and do the news, please.
Okay, you do the taste
This
test.
is going to descend into childishness. I can just feel it. But here's the bottom line, is everyone has a flavor that they absolutely love. So choose yours by the 18th of December. Head over to expressoshow.com and you will get all of the T's and C's that apply. If we love your picture, your recipe and your flavor profile, we'll recreate it live on air. I'm going to cut a little hole in my pot pie and I'm going to try and get a little flavor variant of everything You've got to have a bit of the pastry, definitely a bit of the Mrs. Balls. And because it's a pot pie, you can get stuck in. And
I hope they didn't.
remember, we used mushrooms and beautiful beef.
Oh, okay.
And, of course, our Mrs. Balls. And now with a bit of zing, even better. Absolutely delicious. Hearty. It tastes like festive. Absolutely wonderful. Every bite is a flavor explosion. And then you get the added bonus of that heat washing over. Not too much, just enough. Which variant is yours? Are you going to back live on the show? If we love it, we'll cook it. Time now for the news. Really good.
But he didn't even try my one, so we don't even know who the winner is. But that's all right. We'll continue with that in just a bit. But now it's just 2 minutes before we hit 8 o'clock. Let's get into your national news headlines to get this hour started. With the South African Social Security Agency, or SASSA, is reminding all COVID-19 social relief of distress grant applicants to use cell phone numbers registered in their own names when applying. Now, the agency says phone numbers and banking details are essential for monitoring applications, receiving notifications, as well as completing the verification process. Now, without proper verification, grants will not be paid. Using accurate banking information ensures funds reach the right person and helps combat fraud, avoiding unnecessary delays in receiving 370 Rand monthly relief payments. In other news in the country, South Africa's successful hosting of the G20 summit has given the nation a remarkable lift in global perception, tourism and national pride, with Brand South Africa reporting a surge in confidence as a world-class destination. Now, CEO Neville Machi highlighted preliminary economic activity of 3.6 billion Rand and a jump of 1.1 million tourists, notably from the Americas, and a 58% rise from the Middle East. Now, visitors praised the country's affordability, diversity and experiences, while the summit also strengthened South Africa's brand, dispelling misinformation and positioning the nation as capable, welcoming and globally influential. Taking a look further afield at your international news making headlines, where Guinea-Bissau voters headed to the polls yesterday in presidential and legislative elections that could see President Umaro Sissoco Embalo become the country's first leader in 3 decades to secure a second consecutive term. Now he faces 11 challenges, most notably newcomer Dr. Fernando Diaz, backed by the historic Independence Party, which was barred from fielding its own candidates after missing a filing deadline. Now, analysts expect a close contest with a runoff likely if no one wins over 50%. Turnout topped 65%, with provincial results due this Thursday. Meanwhile, European officials joined the US and Ukrainian delegates yesterday in Geneva after drafting a revisited peace proposal that challenges key elements of the original US plan. Now, the new version allows Ukraine a larger military and suggests any land swap discussions begin along the current front line rather than accepting areas as Russian territory. Now, this comes after Donald Trump gave President Volodymyr Zelensky until Thursday to accept terms that include territorial concessions and limits on Ukraine's forces. Ukrainians fear such conditions amount to surrender, while negotiators continue working toward an acceptable framework. And closing off on this feel-good note with Miss Mexico Fatima Bosch, who's been crowned the new Miss Universe out in Thailand, closing a season packed with twists and tension with a heartwarming victory. Now, the 25-year-old, who famously walked out of an event after being publicly scolded by an official, returned stronger than ever to claim the crown as Mexico's 4th winner. Now, her win follows the resignation of 2 judges amid accusations of rigging, adding extra sparkle to her moment of triumph. Thailand's Praveneer Singh finished second, with Venezuela, the Philippines and Cote d'Ivoire rounding out the top 5, as long-running pageant embraces a fresher, more modern identity. Well, congratulations to Miss Mexico once again, and yes, the celebrations will continue, hopefully too in the world of sports.
They certainly will, my friend. Let's start with the rugby, and what a test it was for both teams. In fact, as South Africa battled to a very hard-fought 24-13 win over Ireland in a bruising, yes, card-laden test in Dublin, but we finally got the win, or at least Rassie has. So the Boks dominated up front and scored through Damian Willems, through Kobus Reinach, Sasha Feinberg and Goma Zulu. And then, of course, a penalty try that kind of tells the frustrating tale. Ireland replying via Dan Sheehan as well, but South Africa's scrum just dominant. Their physical edge proving decisive in a very heated contest. But I think the Irish also earning plaudits through their resilience in this one. Now let's get into motorsports, and he is dominating once again. Max Verstappen powered to victory at the Las Vegas Grand Prix, leading from the start under the city lights. So Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri initially crossed the line in second and fourth respectively, but then both were later disqualified due to technical infringements. That meant George Russell was promoted to second, completing a dramatic night of twists and turns out on the famous strip. Now let's get back into cricket and another battle royale. Senora Mutasamy scored his maiden test century, and then Marco Jansen added a career-best 93 at the tail as South Africa posted 489 all out in their second test up against India in Guwahati. So India closing day 2 at 9 without loss, now facing a daunting task to avoid defeat after the Proteas' dominant 30-run win in Kolkata just last week. Now let's bring it back home as a fairy tale run comes to an end. AmaZulu ending Siwelele FC's unbeaten run with a 2-0 win thanks to Atini Makokolo's brace. Well, Sekhukhune United, they were held to a 1-1 draw by Garumo Gallants. That was after Ngwanamelo Ramala's opener was then cancelled out by a brilliant effort by Nyabe Tetwa Ndlodlo. So TS Galaxy, they bounced back with a 2-1 victory over Golden Arrows with goals from Puso Didejane and Mori Kita sealing the win there. We are loving the look of the PSL this year from top to bottom. Teams and players standing up. I love the Giant Slayer narrative as well. That's where we leave our sport. Well done once again to the Springboks, a memorable win in Dublin. But that's where we leave it for now. And we take a catch up on the roads. The traffic should be up and running.
Thank you so much, Gray. Peak hour traffic is definitely a mixer. So let's get into what it's looking like in KZN and Pinetown, where back-to-back traffic is currently being experienced along the N3 southbound, and that's in Marion Hill Toll Plaza. Now, do expect some heavy delays if you're headed that way, and factor in a little extra travel time. Now let's move over to Gauteng and Pretoria East. If you are headed down the N1 southbound, brace yourself. It is bumper to bumper at Garsfontein Road with very heavy traffic. Now motorists are urged to plan their routes accordingly if that does make up part of your morning commute. So we leave your roads for this Monday morning. A final look at your weather beckons. Well, the South African Weather Service has issued strong alerts for today, warning of hazardous conditions across multiple regions. Now we get started with an orange level 5 alert for severe thunderstorms with heavy downpours, hail, excessive lightning, as well as damaging winds. That's in effect for northern Gauteng, central Limpopo, and the Highveld of Mpumalanga, likely causing flooding, infrastructure damage, as well as service disruptions. And there's also a yellow level 4 alert that covers much of Limpopo, southern Gauteng, the Mpumalanga escarpment, and northwestern KwaZulu-Natal. Meanwhile, very hot and uncomfortable conditions are expected along the west coast, the Cape Winelands, and also Kamiesberg municipality. But now we've got to check in with that final sunrise view of this hour and also of this Monday morning. And our fancy Nancy, our fave out in Pennington, KZN, sent this breathtaking view of the morning. And let me tell you, we're not allowed to have favorites, Nancy, but you're my favorite. This is absolutely stunning. Are you kidding me? I mean, the waves are paid actor just meeting that horizon there with the sun peeking on over, reminding you that out in Pennington, KZN, you will be receiving 23 degrees today. A gorgeous day in South Africa, and we'll get into your weather and temperatures in just a little bit. But let me just remind you, 0630369649. That's that number to share your morning view with us if you want to be just like Fancy Nancy. For now, though, let's get into your temperatures for this Monday.
it looks beautiful out there. Let's make it even better. Your Monday could be unforgettable if you play your daily lotto today for an estimated 400,000 Rand sitting in that jackpot. And then the new daily lotto plus your second chance to win with an estimated 150,000 Rand.
Yes, please, is all I'm saying. So what are you waiting for if you're also nodding away? Buy your tickets now. You could do so in-store. You could head to the website nationallottery.co.za. You could download the mobile app. You could go on your cell phone banking, or you could just dial *120 *7529# for your USSD.
And we actually remember those now off heart. So if you want to ask us in the street, we will give you those details. Really easy. You can just go to our social pages right now. We keep them up there because we know you do need a little reminder to just go out there and take your chance. Maybe today is your day. Go and play your daily lotto for an estimated 400,000 Rand, and then your daily lotto plus for an added, a second chance to win 150,000 Rand sitting in that jackpot today. Come on, double your winning chances.
Oh, I could double them. Then it's a definite yes from my end. And hopefully yours too. But listen, as you're contemplating your numbers, we want to tell you about the celebrations that we still have to enjoy. Yes, the Springboks did great.
Yeah.
But also our women did fantastic. I'm talking about our warrior women. Look at them looking so gorgeous. They've been crowned at the Women in Festival along with the Warrior Women Awards for 2025. And we get to know them a little bit better.
Oh, man. And their impact, most importantly, how this translates in the real world. And then speaking of the whole world right now, I didn't know there was such a rich relationship between the mother city, between South Africa and Istanbul. But for 10 years, we have been celebrating what sets us apart, but also what makes us kind of similar. And we'll delve into that beautiful relationship as well.
You gotta do things that make you scared.
Whatever your reason to go, you could get up to 100% off on flights. Book on our banking app. Your story matters.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
true. It's your Feel Good Breakfast show. Welcome back. Listen, we love celebrating women on our platform, and today is no different with the Good FM Warrior Women Awards that have just celebrated their 2025 winners at a spectacular gala. Now, it was hosted at the Women in Festival in November, an evening where this year's finalists just represented 10 categories of excellence, showcasing women who are transforming the classrooms, the boardrooms, clinics, and of course, our communities across the mother city. And today we are joined by 3 of these remarkable winners whose journeys just speak directly to that spirit, whether through strategic communication or even sustainable manufacturing or uplifting township communities through skills training. Each of them is shifting the landscape and the narrative for women in South Africa. So please help me in welcoming Vinola Kosing. We also have Aditi Radhakrishna and Soraya Williams. Let's give them a feel-good welcome like we do. You ladies look the part, and I know that there's also backing of impact behind it, but welcome.
Thank you.
Are we still feeling like winners? We're feeling like champions?
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't bring your award just sitting here like this. Yes, this is mine. Does it have a place in your house on a cupboard somewhere? Yeah?
Yeah. It does.
Okay, good, because people must respect you when they walk into your home. But Saray, we'll start with you. I really want to know what that moment was like when they called out your name, especially considering that you're just transforming the lives of women in communities and townships alike in Cape Town. So take me through that moment and what it meant for both you and the women.
It felt like a burst of emotion.
Yeah.
First of all, walking up onto that stage, being given the award by Leanne Williams, who I am a huge fan of.
Wow.
And then secondly, you know, when I started my business and operating from Mitchell's Plain, I used to go to flea markets and things, and I often felt like I didn't belong because people would ask me, so where do you sell your garments from if you're not here? And the minute I say Mitchell's Plain, people would look at me and they would go quiet and say, oh, it's nice and it's beautiful, and they walk away. And in that moment, I realized the importance of creating role models for young women and women in particular in my community. And so walking up onto that stage felt like I was building a bridge for other young women to see, and also realizing the importance of creating role models in my community. So it was a burst of emotions, walking up onto that stage, you know, seeing Leanne Williams standing
In
there.
person.
And also seeing the young women that I have empowered and trained. And it felt like I was building a bridge for other young women of my community, you know, to see that if I can do it, then so can they.
Absolutely. So I'm from Strandfontein, which is like a stone throw away from Mitchell's Plain as well. And I will say that you are doing exactly that.
Thank you.
Representation matters, and the fact that you are using your platform for good is incredible. Please remind us about the category that you won.
It was for the business and entrepreneurship.
Well, there you go. She says it with confidence because that's who she is. That is who she is. Finola, will come over to you as well. Your category, of course, just emphasizes women shaping narratives and influencing public discourse, which is very interesting. What did this recognition really affirm for you in your space? What did it really give you the green light for going, okay, I'm doing the right thing, I'm on the right path?
Thank you so much, Clarissa. This award and winning this award means so much to me, both personally and professionally. But it's not about individual achievement, though. It's more about the recognition of the power of communications to shape narratives. I've always believed that communications, when rooted in purpose and in truth, can move markets and can drive real change. And this award affirms that for me.
That's amazing. Please tell us what award it was that you won for.
So I won the award for media and communications.
Of course. I mean, look at the quality on our couch right now, and we're not stopping there. Aditi will come to you as well. Pioneer in STEM category. I mean, we need more women in STEM. We know this. We shout it from the rooftops. It honors women, of course, driving innovation, which is what all of you are really doing. What inspired you to really pursue, especially menstrual health, through manufacturing and sustainability efforts?
Thank you. So increasingly over the last few years, girls and women have been raising the alarm bells on the safety of feminine hygiene products, as well as the environmental impact. I was very concerned to discover that there are actually no universal standards that regulate the safety of feminine hygiene products. It's an essential product that women need to use. At the same time, the silent crisis of period poverty, it became impossible to ignore. And these two realities, the lack of access and lack of regulation, were the catalyst behind Rubio's. We've implemented robust quality assurance processes where SABS approved. We use ingredients that are free from chemicals and not harmful, both to the environment and to women. And with all of that, we also implement regular testing to ensure that these products are safe. So with all of this in mind, we are bridging the gap between safety, sustainability, and accessibility. And we're putting a woman's well-being at the center of everything that we do.
And she's coming in pink as well, just to show us and drive that point home. I am here for it. I mean, woman to woman, we can all agree that this is so vital. Yeah. We use these products every single month, you know, starting from the age of perhaps 8, 9 years old, all the way through until our cycle finishes. So thank you for the work that you're doing. All of you ladies, thank you so much for contributing in your separate categories. And there's definitely bridges and overlaps between all of us. But Finola, the release also mentions many women's work often goes unseen, which we definitely know. We used to invisible work over here as well. What part of your own journey has been perhaps the most overlooked? I think that's quite a challenge that people want to hear. How did you overcome that as well?
That's a very interesting question, Clarissa. And I'm sure that being in media yourself, you can resonate. People see the glitz and the headlines and the campaigns. But what they don't see is the deep work behind it. The depth, the strategy, the discipline, the science that makes it all come together.
Sure.
And that is just so unseen. And this award helped bring that to the fore. I remember very early in my career, recognizing how one authentic story can shift an entire brand's perception. And that almost cemented, like that moment almost cemented for me that stories and words, when anchored in truth, can move markets. And that's why this is so significant for me.
Oh, my goodness. Well, there you go. And they definitely are deserving of putting it even at the front door. As soon as you walk and you say, I'm in an award winner's house, let me act the part as well. Ladies, thank you. We still have part 2 to get through in just a little bit. Of course, we are celebrating our Warrior Women for the Warrior Women Awards in partnership with Women in Festival. And we'll definitely have more for you after this.
As soon as you hear words like legislation being mentioned, that's the joy of being in this country. We don't just push, we make it real in the real world for each other. And I know it feels like you're screaming into the wind a lot of the time, but people are hearing you behind you. You're bringing everyone with you. Thank you to our warrior woman. But I get to work with the warrior woman every day. Carissa is out there carving new paths, and she joined Turkish Airlines at the Century City Conference Center to celebrate a very big milestone. 10 years of direct flights between Cape Town and Istanbul. We are sisters. In that time, the route has moved over 1 million travelers. Think about that, the secondary spend of 1 million travelers. Boosted tourism, obviously, strengthened trade, and then deepened that emotional connection we've just been talking about between South Africa and Turkey. It's more than just a flight route. It is a bridge, literally, that now brings visitors to our shores, opens up doors for local businesses, and certainly in the cuisine space, and supports jobs across travel and tourism, which is so vital right now. So this anniversary, big one, and we managed to capture that essence with the event, the impact with real energy and pride. In fact, let's dive into a few of those highlights.
Welcome to the prestigious Turkish Airline Awards. Now tonight we are at the beautiful Century City Conference Center for a night that promises to deliver on excellence, culture and definitely connection. And the best part is that you and I get a front row seat to all the beautiful highlights of the evening, so let's go. Tell me a bit more about tonight, the connectivity and connection and culture between the two spaces.
Well, it's wonderful that we are celebrating a 10-year anniversary. A flight between Cape Town and Istanbul. It's like a love affair between two wonderful cities. And aviation is a cornerstone of Cape Town's value proposition. We are now landing 228 international flights every single week into Cape Town. And we've connected our city to more than 30 destinations worldwide.
All right, Paolo, we're gathered for a beautiful evening tonight. From where you're sitting, why is Turkish Airlines so popular?
It's very easy. Many reasons. Turkish Airlines is
really the destination. Turkish, as an airline, it's the airline that flies to the most points all over the world. Turkey is just such a phenomenal destination, especially for South African travelers. Visa-free destination. They have beautiful resorts on the Mediterranean coastline. And the people and the culture and the food and the coffee, I can go on and on and on. Yeah.
Tonight is really all about celebrating with friends. We're friends in this very crazy world that we live in the travel industry. We're all about family, and we see our preferred partners as part of our family. So it's all about that community.
5 years ago, with the Cableway's 90th anniversary, we actually did a bit of a partnership with them and ran this competition for a lucky Cableway visitor to actually do a trip to Turkey and flying on Turkish Airlines. So there is really that really close association with Turkish Airlines.
I've had an incredible relationship with Turkish Airlines over the years, a working relationship. So when you ask me what does it mean to be part of a celebration like this, it's heartwarming. 10 years of direct flights to Cape Town, come on, what's not to celebrate?
Tonight has been a beautiful celebration, shining a spotlight on what Turkish Airlines is doing. How do you find the awards and the celebration?
What I see here today with our partners here, with guests and distribution, it was an absolute brilliant event. We were very happy to have them. And that gave us even more confidence that we should keep going on Cape Town, keep going on South Africa, and grow more.
I think this is a great networking event. I think it's a good industry portal. And I feel very excited to be amongst my contemporaries in the industry.
What more exciting things can we look forward to when it comes to Turkish Airlines?
We have this ambitious 2033 vision of our company. Today we have 500 aircrafts, as you have seen on the presentation. We are aiming to have it 813. Today we have been carrying around 85 million passengers. This is going to be 171 million. And the revenue generated last year was around 23 billion US dollar. And we are expecting it to be 50 billion in that time span. So ambitions are high, but we as Turkish Airlines will be doing this with all the support from our travel partners and then Cape Town and South Africa landscape.
Well, there you have it, an incredible celebration, strengthening connection and community from Istanbul to Cape Town. Now, if you're thinking about your next travel destination, I think it's pretty clear that Turkey should be top of your list.
We connect more countries than any other airline. Turkish Airlines.
Wow. It was an incredible evening. I had to step up to the occasion.
You made the aesthetic. I'm just saying, girl. Okay, I'm a little jealous that I wasn't dressed up and stood beside you as your work husband.
You know,
you look gorgeous.
I was trying to get a first-class business flight to Turkey. That's what it was. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there. It was an incredible celebration, though. Like you were saying, the relationship and bridging the gap between Istanbul and Cape Town. For 10 years, they've been doing this, and here's to 10 more years. Very excited for the company.
Oh, man. And for Turkish Airlines, it's just the beginning. It isn't just about flying in and out of Cape Town. They are opening their doors to global markets, to new opportunities. I keep thinking of the culinary opportunities but most importantly, unforgettable journeys there and here. So thanks to their award-winning Cape Town International Airport team, this route remains one of the city's strongest connections to the world. Delivered with service excellence, travelers can feel that from check-in, literally from the time you engage with the brand till you touch down step on the land.
Oh, man, and on the land we want to step. So whether you're plotting your next escape or even dreaming of discovering the vibrant getaway between Africa and Turkey, choose the airline that reaches more countries than any other. Head to turkishairlines.com and let your world get a whole lot bigger.
All right, I desperately want to hear more from our warrior woman. I'm so proud of Leanne and what she was able to achieve with this incredible platform. I'm even more excited about hearing about the work, the impact that these incredible women warriors are doing every day, because that's the kind of stuff we can plug into right now.
Absolutely.
Straight after the show.
Well, I'm really excited to do so straight after the break.
Protea Hotels by Marriott is where hospitality feels like home. It's why when your family is with us, we treat you all like a member of ours. Book now and be more than a guest. Go there with Marriott Bonvoy.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back on this beautiful Monday to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Right now, we're definitely continuing our conversation with this year's Warrior Women Award winners. Now, we now look at what comes next and how they hope to just carry the momentum forward along with them. And ladies, thank you so much once again, and congratulations again on this incredible achievement and moment. I hope you took yourself out for dinner, or at least had somebody do it for you, right? Aditi, I'd like to start with you again. Speaking about the future, I'm really curious about what you see the future looking like when it comes to menstrual health awareness for both young girls and women going forward.
Thank you. So I think just to start off by saying that this platform and this recognition is extremely meaningful. At the very least, it's amplifying awareness, which I believe is going to drive action, which ultimately is going to lead to change.
That's true.
I want to be part of a world where we can build something that women deserve, because we do deserve better, right? And my hope is that through this recognition and the exposure, women are empowered to make better decisions, to choose products that prioritize their safety, their health, and the environment. So yeah, and choose brands that are aligned with their beliefs.
Yeah. And I love the fact that you said the more we have the conversation, the more we're moving the needle. I mean, if we consider what happened on Friday with all of the activism pushing towards a moment that the president now acknowledged that change needs to be made, I'm pretty sure we're not too far away from that as well, right?
Definitely, and there's actually a menstrual health bill that needs to go through to Parliament for support and adoption. So it's definitely on the pipeline, and it's something that should get the attention that it deserves.
Absolutely. Like we wore our pink and black, or at least our pink and purple, we'll definitely be wearing our pink as well. Soraya, I'll come over to you now. Your training programs both offer healing, but then also economic opportunity, which in South Africa is something that we're in dire need of. What change do you hope to see over the next couple of years, especially when it comes to those that you deal with?
More jobs, because we, like you said, we are in dire need, and we've got something special in store for Mitchell's Plain for the future. We have purchased a piece of land, and we are hoping to develop it, not hoping, we're raising funds to develop it into the first sewing skills incubation hub. And it's not going to be just any incubation hub. When we drew up the plans, or we sat with the architect to draw up the plans, we looked at all kinds of social barriers that women are facing, you know, to access opportunities. One example would be an ECD that is going to be on site, because we find that a lot of times women struggle when they are recipients of social grants. They have to decide, do I go and take this money for traveling to access opportunities, or do I buy food, or do I find an ECD that can look after my child? And we're saying, you know, you're looking for an opportunity, we're creating it in Mitchell's Plain for women, and you can bring your child with, so that you don't have to worry about the safety of your child, and also not traveling 2 hours back and from home to your workplace.
How incredible is that? Many women are just nodding, going, yes, this is what we've been needing. And I love the fact that you saw a gap and definitely are taking that on with both horns. All the best.
Thank you.
And this is the platform to be talking about funders, yes, businesses. Please pour on into this incredible next milestone for you. Finola, when it comes to your milestones, I mean, you work and operate in the space of communications. And some people say, oh, it's not just words, because it really does prompt, encourage, and also, I would even say, challenge companies and challenge the world in terms of how you show up in spaces. So how do you plan on using this platform, especially to mentor and uplift emerging young women who are communicators to be the next whoever?
Clarissa, excuse me. I have had the privilege of learning from women who led with both absolute clarity and such courage. And I'm hoping that I can do the same for and create that space for young female communicators in very complex corporate structures. And for me, mentorship has never really been about instruction. It's more a discovery. And I'm looking forward to taking young communicators on that journey, to helping them find their authentic voices. but also to remind them that with influence comes great responsibility.
It's true.
And there has to be that balance and the alignment between their words and their actions and their values.
Yeah. I love that. I mean, ladies, I'm just thinking about the fact that being on the ground with women in so many categories, powerful women like the three of you as well, must have been something. I mean, what was your experience? Was it a networking moment? Did you get to be encouraged by the stories of others? Tell me more about that experience, I mean, among all three of you.
Well, we met for the first time on that evening, and we just happened to be sitting next to each other. She was called up before I was. And there was actually a lady at our table that had won as well before that. And I was just sitting there thinking, no pressure at all. But the energy in the room was exhilarating, and being around inspirational women that I can look up to. And the nice thing about the event is that we create a sisterhood, and we've already shared contact details amongst the group, and I'm actually really looking forward to those conversations.
And how the relationship will develop over time. I mean, Sarah, do you also have a moment of, you know, meeting somebody that helps you along your journey too?
Yeah, always. But I'm again very introverted, so I will sit there, be in my head, and I'll wait for someone to come to me, and then I'll explode. Yeah. But the whole experience, even, you know, leading up to that evening, the Women in Festival, I was part of that. And it is just amazing to see how women, when we come together, want to see each other win and want to be empowered and empower other women. And that for me is very important, you know, is women fixing each other's crowns and not looking down onto each other and not looking at it as a competition, but a collaboration where we can build stronger forces instead of looking at, yes, it was a competition, but I think for all of us, just being there was being a winner, and that would have been, even though if I did not win, you know, I would have still felt like I was a winner, just representing and just being there on the evening.
Sure, mic drop. That is incredible. I was also going to say that collaboration over competition is really how we're going to win at the end of the day, especially as women. Because I think from even a young age, we're told that you are competing with this one and that one, but no, we can come together and create even better work as a unit. So thank you once again, and we look forward to seeing, some of the things coming from the beautiful Women in Festival. Of course, on Friday, we all celebrated the moment that happened in government. We wore our black, we had our touches of purple and our ribbon, and we want you to continue definitely weighing in on our social media at Expresso Show, even our WhatsApp line, to let us know if you were also donned in black, if you also took a stand or even lied down for those 15 minutes that was called upon across the nation. Like we said, conversations definitely move the needle, and definitely making sure that we are all part of the change we need to see in South Africa.
Oh man, so many messages being put out there, but for me, it's the representation. We understand in our world that it's not just a nice to have, it is essential. And when I see women behind me, next to me, above me, creating spaces like this, processing their trauma so that that young girl on the other side of that trauma world can look in and see herself represented, that is the most massive win. My word.
Yes.
How lucky are we that we have warrior women in South Africa right now?
Absolutely. Even the heroes that we don't even acknowledge every single day. I mean, I look at the women in my life and I'm like, you're a hero, you're a winner, you're an award winner.
Any gogo running an ECD in South Africa, looking after all of our children. Warrior woman. Oh man, we need this kind of energy, some new energy, and sometimes
yes,
you got to feel it. You know, the emotion needs to land before the brain can pick it up. Okay,
it's true.
And we've been loving working with Artline because this is how my brain works. Exams are officially in full throttle, and when your brain needs to fire on all cylinders and you punch above your weight class, a burst of color can make all of the difference. And for years, Artline has been South Africa's trusted go-to, turning everyday notes into standout study weapons that keep focus sharp and revision on point. Now I'm starting to feel like a warrior.
A study weapon, yes please. Okay, when you were studying, Gray, were you a full-on color coder or a keep it simple student? And which pen was your
Okay,
go-to?
so the first mistake you made there was the start of that sentence, when I was
When you were
studying.
studying.
Okay, so for the 3 days that I studied before my matric finals, I'm so sorry, my mom.
My
I'm so
goodness.
sorry to my beautiful saint-like mother who had to deal with me. But I started late, okay, and there was a lot of visual mind mapping, a la Tony Buzan, who created the mind map, and I link visually. That's how I work.
Yeah.
And our job feeds into that. You need to see something, get a snapshot, and
It's
then
true.
relay it. But for me, I need colors. Like, so for me, energy is green because that's what I feel when I plug
Yeah.
into green. So I need that. I can tell a story with color, with shape, with relationship to its visual. What about you? You strike me as you could do anything, really.
Yeah, I
Hey.
studied for too long, probably. I mean, I did 4 years after I finished high school
You can
as
still
well.
smell the
I just
paper.
oh my gosh! Well, the laptop, the
Exactly.
fumes coming out of it. Oh, it was a lot. I would love to go back to study, actually, get my master's, perhaps one day, my PhD.
Ooh, when you chat to ladies like
Yeah.
this, what's on the vision board now when you map out what you'd like to study?
Oh my gosh, I want to own my own business first and
Okay.
foremost. I definitely want to do that. I want to plug into communities, but I want to get the education backing as well. I want to see where the need is and how I can really contribute positively towards that.
Because, you know, the MBA is all about the mentor in the chain above you. I'm learning things from these ladies. So
You wanna be my mentor, let me
Come
know.
on. If you're ready to raise up your standard, this is how you do it. And we wanted to find out from you guys exactly how you include Artline in your journey. And Duduzile is saying the Artline paint marker is a must-have for detailed diagrams and illustrations, especially for
true.
subjects like anatomy or engineering. Okay, we are punching above our weight class here. Its vibrant colors and fine tip make it perfect for precise work.
Okay,
Ooh, I love that.
I like that. Helen, what did you say? Artline 660 fluorescent highlighters.
Yes.
I was able to make notes using them and highlighted words I couldn't understand. That made my exam season so easy.
My
That's a good one.
sister, on the notes that she took, used the highlighter to highlight the pertinent points that I studied 4 years later.
Nice.
When I needed notes and, of course, had none of my own. So thank you. You might have actually saved my school career. So if you're ready to take your studying up a notch, if your maybe note-taking isn't quite like mine, Artline is giving you guys the chance to win a year's supply of Artline products worth 5,000 rand.
Absolutely. So that's all the highlighters, the fine liners, the markers, the stationery goodies that definitely need to keep your notes bright and looking good and keep your focus even better. So reply to the competition post on the Expresso social pages and just tell us which Artline product could you no longer live without during exam season and also why. Is that qualifying hashtag Artline Africa, and the competition closes at midnight on the 27th of November. T's and C's, of course, can be found on our website.
I'm going to go and order a flip chart. Literally after this, we're going
I
to take the
remember
quickest
those.
of breaks, and we'll see you with some after the break.
No taking.
What do you see? Oh, look.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Together we build, we grow, and I want you to lean into that notion right now. Welcome back. To celebrate 4 decades of building better, Build It is saying thank you in the best way possible, and it's very Expresso. They are giving you guys the chance to win one of 14 brand new Hyundai Grand i10s, 14 of them. It's their way of recognizing the same drive, that same spirit that has kept South Africans building no matter how big the challenge is. It's our DNA. So I want you guys to think about this question because I can't stop. Here is a fun one, actually. If you won one of those Hyundai Grand i10s, what would be your first yes you can mission to do with that car? Would it be to use it to get your next DIY project done a little bit faster? Maybe start a side hustle, a little side gig, or maybe go celebrate a little victory with a road trip? Let's find out. Zoe saying, if I won the Hyundai Grand i10, my first yes you can mission would be hitting the road to chase my next DIY project. From early morning store runs to late night ideas, that's just like me. This car would be the start of something big. I like your framing there. I love that. Ursula Cupido saying, a perfect economical car to drop and fetch my grandkids to and from school. And with the holidays coming up, I'll be doing a lot of driving. Typical grandmother thinking of everyone else other than herself. I hope you win one of those. Veronica Mkwati saying, good morning, fam. A road trip to Mpumalanga with my family. You can see when someone is that clear and makes a statement like that, that's bucket list. I hope all of you get the chance to live those dreams. And if you want to follow suit and enter, all you need to do is this. Spend 500 Rand or more at any participating Build It store, scan the QR code in-store to enter via WhatsApp, or you just use the USSD code. Super simple, and for more details, you can head over to their website, buildit.co.za, or follow at BuildItSA and on Facebook, and at BuildIt_. Yes, we can on the gram. And because when it comes to building your dreams, yes, you can. So don't forget that hashtag. The competition closes 31st of December. We're going to get some good entries for this one. Make yours amazing. The T's and C's, of course, apply.
Why better? Better is harder. It takes more effort. Better is what you leave behind.
And look at that, we're back in the kitchen with our gorgeous Chef Tumi, and we're getting into the next meal. Now listen, earlier on, we were crying for some protein, and she came in with exactly what we're needing to get into. Up next, we're making grilled lamb chops with mint gremolata. So what is our first, actually no, not even the first step. What is gremolata?
So you know chutney, you know acha.
Yes.
So this is like a condiment, an accompaniment that you have with the dish.
Ooh.
And what it does is that it uses fresh herbs. So you get to get this pungent flavor of whatever you use. So gremolata, chimichurri are like different types of sauces or accompaniments that you can put onto something, into something, and it just uses a couple of different herbs and flavors there.
Yum.
So you're going to be making that for us.
Okay,
and
why
this
not?
was actually inspired from my birthday that I celebrated recently, and I was like, okay, if Carissa wants the lamb, we'll bring the protein.
We'll bring the lamb.
Let's do that.
Okay,
So,
gremolata, what am I doing here?
so you've got different herbs. The beautiful thing about gremolata as well is you can add different types of herbs. We've got some mint, we've got some coriander, we've got some parsley. So you can literally just use any of those light herbs.
Wow.
Try not to use the harder herbs like your thyme and your rosemary. Because obviously what's going to happen is that they're not easily chewable in a raw,
I get
you know,
form,
way,
yeah.
in a raw form. Whereas rosemary and thyme work as a marinade or as a rub, which is what I'm using the rosemary for on this end.
Okay, I'm learning things today. So we're going in with some olive oil and lemon, and then just hoeing it all together.
In essence, yeah, that's what you're doing. And if you didn't want to use some lemon perhaps as your acidity, you could always use a vinegar, rice wine vinegar, balsamic vinegar, depending on which type of acidity you'd like in your dish. And so in my case, I'll be doing a quick rub marinade on our lamb chops. So I'm going to go in with some oil. And then, I loved people to be creative.
Yes.
The kitchen is a beautiful place to just use your imagination, your creativity. So take flavors that work best for you. But this one over here is something that's classic. Lamb and rosemary are just friends forever, you know.
besties for life.
Besties for life. So try your best to make sure just to, you know, be as extravagant as you want with the flavor profiles, but also just make sure when you find something that you like, try it a couple of different ways, different flavors. And then, yeah, and then you'll figure out whether you like it a little sweeter. Some people add some sugar just to get a bit more caramelization.
To the lamb, okay. I've never done that before.
Yeah, try new things. It's exciting. The kitchen is a fun place. It shouldn't be as intimidating as it is for most people.
You know what? I was very intimidated by it because I grew up with the aunties throwing it down in the kitchen. And I'm yet to make like a really good stew bready. But for now, I think I've got my basics of what I like to enjoy.
And the basics are all you need.
Yeah.
Because that gives you a starting point.
Yeah.
All right, and you can see we've got some beautiful lamb chops. Whenever you're cooking a dish like this or a meat like this, I always suggest start by rendering the fat first.
Okay.
That is a beautiful flavor because what it does is it renders the flavor, it renders the fat, making sure that it gets nice and crispy, but it also flavors the rest of the cooking as it goes throughout, right? Okay. So we're going to let those sit there. In fact,
see if I can
she doesn't
grab
want to
something
behave.
to help you out there.
It's okay.
Okay.
What I'll then do is normally I'll just make it lean against the other one.
Nice.
And then once we're done with that, you just flip it over.
When she said creativity, she meant it, Chef Timmy. That's amazing. Don't be disappointed in me because I know how proud you are of me already. But can we put this in an air fryer, yes or no?
Look, air fryers make life easier for people. And if that's what you want or that's what you need at the time, by all means, go ahead. Because that air circulation will actually still get them crispy. So all we're looking for is the crispy little fat there, but then we want our lamb
inside
to be nice and
juicy. Nothing worse than a dry lamb. Wow.
You know? So what we're going to do here is just let it cook on either side after we've rendered the fat to our liking.
Yeah.
Just about 5 minutes on either side, also depending on how you like your meat.
So that's what I was going to ask. So can you have your lamb like meat, like you would your steak, like the medium, the well done?
Definitely. I always suggest medium and less, nothing over medium because it tends to be a little bit chewy. But the thing about lamb is, if you let it rest, it'll still be nice and soft, even if you cook it well done.
Oh, some good tips coming through. Tell me, how is my gremolata? Might be a little dry. Maybe it needs more oil.
So this is where it's a choice situation. Okay. Some people were like, I still want the chunkiness of it and still like flaky. But I would, you can add some oil to that. You can add more of the acidity if you'd like. If you want it to be a slightly more runny, if you want it to hold together a bit more, add more of the oil instead, you know?
Lovely.
And this is the perfect time when we can flip our babies
look at
over
that. Wow. And what are we looking for? For just to get some marks on it, some browning?
Some browning on the side.
Yes.
And then some people, because they might prefer time situation, you want to go quick, put it on a high heat on the stove and then into the oven to cook for the remainder of the time. We've got soft, succulent lamb chops.
Voila, there you have it. Chef Tumi has come through with the most delicious smelling. My stomach's like, grrr, are we going to get fed or not? We want to try some of this. It's the QR code on your screen right now. We'll take you to this recipe. Do you want to try it? Is it a bit early for lamb chops?
Never too early.
Never. All right, let's get into it. We'll try the finished dish as that one cooks away. Protein is always a good idea. I'll give you these ones.
Protein is good for you because it builds muscle.
Oh, you heard that. My biceps are growing as we're talking. The gremolata. All right, let's see what it's giving.
Oh. This is honestly the best way to start a day, guys. First meal of the day. Lamb chops.
Mmm. Ooh.
No TV bites today.
No, zero. The freshness of the gremolata with the richness of the meat. Mmm, that's it. I was just looking for Oh my gosh, Graham, I'm sorry. There's going to be none left for you. We'll keep you some of the gremolata. Is that okay?
I'm getting the smells and it is amazing. From culinary to medical, let's give you some vital information. Did you guys know that stress can make peptic ulcer symptoms like heartburn and acid reflux feel a lot worse? Well, relief can start with Alsanic. We've said it before. Alsanic provides targeted protection for your stomach lining and lasts for 6 hours. Now, here's the best part. You don't need a prescription. Just 5 mils or 1 tablet goes a very long way. Alsanic is giving you guys as well the chance to win one of 10 1,000 Rand cash send vouchers to add to. So head on over to the Alsanic Facebook page and enter now. You can do that. We'll see you after the break.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. One last time, we got some good news. Your Monday could be even better. In fact, it could be unforgettable if you play your daily lotto, because an estimated 400,000 Rand is sitting in that jackpot today. And then we're going to throw the new daily lotto plus on board with 150,000.
Oh my gosh, that's over 500,000 to put it into context. So what are you waiting for? Go ahead and buy your tickets now. You could do so in store, or you could just be at home on your phone. Head to the website nationallottery.coza. There is the mobile app, there is cell phone banking, or simply dial *120 *7529# on your keypad for USSD.
Super easy, even easier if you head over to the Expresso socials. We've got the full list there, and just go and do it. Please play your daily lotto for an estimated 400,000 Rand, and then the daily lotto plus for 150,000 Rand. I sounded exasperated. Like, why am I even asking you to go and try to win 500,000 Rand? But there it is. Go and do it.
Oh my gosh, and you can double your chances of winning, so why not? Don't hold back, especially when it comes to also enjoying Mario Small-Smith, who's here once again to take to the stage and perform a wonderful song called First Light.
Another feel-good production.